Alright, stick with me here every single night. I smear smelly mud on my girlfriend's feet. Throw some powder over them. Fake sleep. And watch her wake up at exactly 2 in the morning. She plucks one of my hairs and sneaks outside in total silence. So I decide to follow her trail of footsteps left on the cold floor, never imagining that. Just as I was to expose her dark secrets, suddenly, I saw a little girl in the street, seconds away from getting crushed by a massive truck. Without thinking, I lunged to push her out of the way, but the brutal impact threw me 30 feet, leaving me clinging to life as my heart slowly stopped. Right then, a cold mechanical voice echoed in my head, announcing the awakening of an extreme wealth systems, transferring $1 trillion to its host, Yi Chuan, while gifting me a legendary black card and the mystical golden eye capable of seeing the true value of everything and reading minds, on top of giving me master-level hand-to-hand combat skills to easily take down 100 men at once. I snapped my eyes open, feeling a wild, overwhelming energy surging through my veins, like never before actually. I could clearly see and hear a luxury Maybach speeding toward me from 3 miles away, and in under 2 minutes, that sleek black car pulled up right in front of me, revealing gorgeous legs in black silk stockings. Stepping out, the woman ran desperately toward the crowd, screaming for Tang Tang, while the little girl I saved just kept crying. Watch closely here, she hugged her tight, and seeing she only had a few minor scratches, she finally looked up, to stare at me with endless gratitude in her eyes, crying that she could never repay me for saving her child's life. She introduced herself as Chen Yun Shu from the powerful Chen Group, promising her entire family fortune just to reward me, without a single second of hesitation. Meanwhile, thanks to my golden eye, her entire bio flashed right across my retina. 25 years old, president of the Chen Group, and immensely wealthy. Before, this would have been my golden ticket out of poverty, clinging to her power to escape my miserable life. But now, things were completely different, even if nobody else knew it yet. Even though the 100 billion sitting in my account right now makes her family fortune look like pocket change. So I just looked at her coldly, told her it was unnecessary, and immediately vanished into the pouring rain of that freezing night, utterly stunned. Chen Yunshu watched me leave and immediately ordered her assistant to run a full background check, demanding my complete file within 3 minutes. She was not about to let her savior just slip away into the dark. While she searched, I was already back home, staring silently at the family portraits hanging on the worn-out wall. Get ready for this, because my golden eye just revealed that Clether behind my parents' deaths is someone you'd never expect. My ruthless stepmother, Qian Yulin, and to make things worse, my cheating girlfriend was actually sneaking out to sleep with some brainless billionaire heir. I decided right then to destroy my evil stepmother first, before dealing with my lying girlfriend. I will crush them so hard they won't even have the dignity to get a job sweeping the streets. They will end up begging for scraps, The next morning, I stood tall outside my former family's luxury mansion, and the second I stepped inside, the sound of glass shattering echoed from the living room, followed by a terrified scream of Chi and Yulin begging them to stop hitting her, promising she would force me to sign over the inheritance immediately, just to pay off her debts, but her pathetic weeping was cut short by a brutal slap to the face that silenced her instantly. I kicked the door open and walked into a living room turned completely upside down, and there she was, my once proud stepmother, kneeling with messy hair and a bright red handprint burning on her cheek. The man holding her down was Boss Dao, a ruthless loan shark sitting comfortably, enjoying the show with his thugs, who held iron pipes, ready for a fight. But I just strolled in, completely ignoring the heavy tension in the air, walking straight into the middle of the room, infuriated by my utter lack of respect. Boss Dao roared, raising his fist, to smash my face while calling me a useless loser, but I stared directly into his eyes without showing any fear, as I activated my scanning ability. His comm power was 65, which is standard human average. But get this, his critical weaknesses were extreme superstition, and for strange medical chatters cause unbearable chest pains at exactly midnight every night. So without lifting a single finger, I coldly warned him that if he dared touch me, he would never use his hands again, not even to hold a spoon. Then, I asked if his chest pain always hit at exactly midnight, instantly freezing him solid with his fist locked in mid-air, a dark secret not even his closest men knew. How on earth did I know that? Without explaining, I walked past him to search the wreckage for my mother's heirloom chest, while my stepmother used this distraction to scramble up, desperately begging the loan shark to beat me up right now, shrieking that I was the heir. But trust me, you and I already know exactly who is going to win this. Get ready, because you and I are about to watch how a massive multi-billion debt makes this boss greed completely erase his fears. His face turned dark and gloomy, looking toward the wall. He coldly ordered his men to grab the young man right now. If he does not sign today, chop off his finger. Instantly. 4 thugs armed with metal pipes rushed straight at Ye Xuan. Turning his back, Ye Xuan sighed softly, wondering why they always forced him to use violence. Before they could strike, he spun around. With absolute calm, he unleashed a devastating spin kick. The first thug flew backward like he had just been hit by a massive truck. He crashed into the wall 15 feet away, knocked out cold. The entire room instantly fell into a dead, heavy silence. The other 3 thugs froze in pure terror, swallowing hard. Meanwhile, Hua Xuan calmly walked over and began searching near the table. There he found his mother's sandalwood box. He gently wiped off the dust and looked up at Chi and Yulin, who stood frozen in shock. Chi and Yulin, did you not want this mansion and my family's entire inheritance? Fine, keep it. I am gifting it to you right now. Her jaw dropped. Ye Xuan looked at the boss with a mysterious grin, pulling a gleaming black credit card out of his pocket. Did you bring the card reader? Swipe 58 billion right now. Yi Xuan casually tossed the black card to him without hesitation. Her eyes sparkled with greedy joy, thinking this fool was actually paying her debt. Instantly, her incredibly arrogant attitude returned. Well, at least you are useful. Yi Xuan, since you paid my debt, we are even. Now get out of my way and leave. But pay close attention right here, because what he says next is going to completely erase that stupid smile from her face. Who said I was paying for you? What I did was buy your entire debt. From this very second. The only person in the world you owe money to is me. Her smile froze as the boss's expression changed completely. The boss glared furiously at the woman, warning her that her new creditor was Mr. Yi. Then he turned to him with total submission. Do you need me to handle collecting the interest? Sir, the boss knew he had to please this powerful billionaire client. Holding his mother's box, Yi Xuan paused at the X and looked back at Qi Anyulan, giving her only two choices. First, leave this mansion right now with only the clothes on your back. Or second, pay me back every single penny. You have 3 days. If you are 1 second late, I will sue you for fraud. And if you guys do not watch her, to ensure she pays, I will sue you for physical assault. The entrance security camera has already recorded all the evidence. That proof is more than enough to throw you all in prison. Without another word, Ye Xuan left, leaving total chaos. Her desperate screams echoed as the boss's men immediately began tearing the place apart, confiscating absolutely everything inside. Hearing the absolute chaos behind him, Yi Xuan stood under the bright sunlight, feeling a deep sense of relief and satisfaction. Suddenly, the system issued a brand new mission. He had to spend $100 million in just 2 hours. If he failed, he would lose a random physical skill. For instance, his bedroom endurance would drop to only 3 seconds forever. Let's pause for a second. A system that punishes your manhood like that is absolute madness. But spending cash should be easy. Yi Xuan hopped into a cab, heading straight to the city's most exclusive mall. But the moment he arrived at the luxury spot, a bright red Ferrari roared loudly, pulling up right in front of him. The window slowly rolled down to reveal a surprise. It was Zhao Mingyao, his arrogant ex-girlfriend. She slid off her sunglasses, looking at him with absolute contempt and mockery. Well, look who it is. Yi Xuan. I heard you got kicked out and deliver food now. How did you end up begging here? Security does not allow beggars in this mall. When Yi Xuan's family went bankrupt, she had dumped him without a second thought. She quickly found herself a filthy rich heir instead. Seeing her again, Yi Xuan did not feel even a shred of anger. Instead, he smiled happily, since he needed some onlookers to watch him spend. Yeah, sure. I came here to beg, he joked. He adjusted his collar with a smug grin, adding that he was not after pocket change today, but buying the whole mall. Right then, the car door swung open, and a guy wearing incredibly expensive designer clothes stepped out to stand right beside her. The guy glared at him with pure arrogance. openly mocking his cheap appearance and asking if this was her pathetic ex-boyfriend. Wow, just a delivery boy. What a shame you are starving. Did you know they basically charge you just to breathe in here? What you make in a whole day would not even cover if 10 minutes of the air conditioning in this high-end store. She laughed out loud and clung tightly to his arm. Let me introduce you to my current boyfriend. She bragged with contempt. His name is Swan Hao. His family runs a massive construction firm, and they have millions in the bank. She boasted arrogantly. She stared at the young man, expecting to see humiliation, shame, or maybe pure rage at being replaced so easily. But she was in for a massive disappointment. He only replied with a cold, indifferent tone that left her completely speechless. And that is where we leave it. Trust me, you and I are going to absolutely love watching him destroy her pride. Come along with me today. We're watching this arrogant rich guy named Sunho absolutely lose it when our main character ignores him. He blocks Yechuan's path, raising his hand to shove him. But right before he makes contact, something unexpected happens. A golden light flashes in Yichuan's eyes. Suddenly, all the hidden secrets of this fake millionaire appear right before him. He looks wealthy, but he's actually broke. He wears a cheap shirt and a totally fake Richard Mille watch on his wrist. The watch gears are painted to look vintage. His belt is real, but all of his credit cards are completely maxed out. He lives on daily loans and rented a Ferrari just for today to impress Xiao Mingyao. And he hasn't even paid the full rental fee yet. Seeing this, Yichuan smiles mysteriously. He walks up and whispers something to him, but loud enough for others to hear. By the way, real Richard Mille carbon has natural random patterns, but your watch design looks a little too perfect to be real. Plus, on the original, the date changes incredibly smoothly. Look, right now it is exactly 1:59 in the afternoon. Now pay attention here. Let's wait one more second. When it strikes 2 o'clock, do you think your date actually changes? Hearing this, Sunho's face completely twists with absolute shock. That watch is just a cheap 400 yuan replica he bought to impress materialistic women, just like his girlfriend. He never expected a simple delivery guy to expose his biggest secret in a second. Furious, he screams that it's all lies. My watch is 100% original. You know nothing. While shouting, he quickly hides his hand out of pure instinct, trying hard to hide his nerves. He tells his girlfriend not to listen to this rabid dog, and suggests they leave. I will buy you a Hermes bag instead. Saying this, he drags the confused girl into the mall to escape. He clearly wants to escape the embarrassment. But Yechuan smiles and says he coincidentally needs to buy a few things too. So they enter together. Yichuan walks in totally relaxed, while the fake rich guy mocks him, saying this mall is extremely expensive. If you can buy even a single pair of socks here, I will eat them in front of you. Yichuan just tells him to remember that. Walking through the revolving doors, they step inside. The first floor holds the most exclusive and expensive brands on the entire planet. The air smells like expensive perfume. Arriving at the Patek Philippe store, the receptionist elegantly welcomes them right at the entrance. She bows politely, but the moment she spots the luxury clothes on Sun Ho and his girlfriend, her eyes light up with interest. Her smile becomes huge and extremely welcoming as she ushers them into the incredibly expensive luxury watch boutique. Desperate to fix his bruised pride, Sun Ho loudly demands to see the absolute most expensive watch in the entire store. He claims he's buying one for his girl, glaring at Ye Chuan and mocking him for even stepping inside as a simple delivery boy. Did you just come in for the free AC? Don't touch the glass. You couldn't pay for it even by selling your organs. The sales staff rush over to serve the fake millionaire, completely ignoring our main character as if he is invisible in the shop. However, a young trainee salesgirl, looking a bit nervous but very polite, slowly decides to walk over to where Ye Chuan is standing. She kindly offers him a glass of water. I bet you also appreciate her sweet humility toward a plainly dressed customer. Her expression is entirely pure and respectful, without judging Yi Chuan's character just because of his simple work uniform. I'm not just here to look around. Yi Chuan replies after taking a sip of water with absolute calmness. See, I told you he just wanted free air. Where's security? Throw this homeless beggar out right now. His girlfriend scoffs with disgust. A senior saleswoman approaches with an arrogant tone, speaking to him with utter contempt. If you are not buying, do not waste our precious time. Go sit over there. But he completely ignores her. Instead, he gives the polite trainee a warm smile. Then he points directly to the center display case in the store. He points to the Starry Sky model in the middle, and then at the entire row of Nautilus watches next to it. I will take all of these, he says calmly. The whole room falls completely silent. Sun Ho bursts out laughing. He says he is buying everything. That costs an absolute fortune. Did he lose his mind delivering too many packages? The snobby saleswoman steps in, highly annoyed, snapping that this is a luxury store, not some cheap flea market. She threatens to call guards if he keeps talking nonsense. Her face is filled with pure disgust toward our main character. She thinks he is just causing trouble. After all, the Sky Moon Model 6102P costs millions of dollars. It also requires an exclusive VIP membership and strict background checks. The young trainee stands there trembling with panic. She is too shocked to speak. Background checks, he asks, reaching a hand deep down into his worn-out blue jeans. He pulls out a shiny black card, placing it with absolute elegance onto the glass counter with a soft click. Charge it. The pin is 6 sixes. If the card bounces, I'll eat this table. Stick around to see what happens next. Let's jump in and watch how Ye Chuan's calm voice completely terrifies this snobby employee. She reached out to take the card and looked doubtfully at her manager, an experienced middle-aged man. He had been watching Ye Chuan the whole time, and the moment he saw that black card, his pupils dilated in shock. It was the legendary Centurion card with no credit limit, boasting a design far more exclusive than the original version. This was the Supreme Dragon card, with only 10 copies in existence. The manager screamed to bring the payment terminal immediately. Keep up your cheap little show, mocked Sun Haya, thinking it was just a discount card from some neighborhood hair salon. But pay close attention here, because right as he kept laughing his head off, the payment machine started ringing. The sound of the printing receipt sealed everyone's fate. The manager stared at the paper, completely overwhelmed by all those digits. He nearly fainted from shock, on the verge of kneeling before Yi Xuan. He stuttered that the $100 billion charge was approved. Sir, everything is ready. We will pack your watches right now. Should we deliver them to your private residence? Or will you take them? No need, he replied. The manager returned the card with extreme bows, bending almost 90 degrees in total submission. Yi Xuan calmly picked up the $10 billion starry sky watch and strapped it right onto his wrist. Then, pointing to the other luxury pieces, he ordered them to be tossed in a simple bag so he could leave. The manager was speechless. Ordinary plastic bags for multi-million-dollar treasures. Meanwhile, Sun Haya and Xiao Mengya finally snapped out of their trance. How was this even possible? Wasn't Yi Xuan's family bankrupt? And wasn't he kicked out of his own home? Yet the guy didn't even blink while spending a literal fortune. Sun Haya felt like a massive slap had completely shattered his face. It hurt his very soul. Just minutes ago, he was proudly showing off his $5 billion watch to everyone. But Ye Xuan's just bought $70 billion worth of luxury items, like he was picking cheap vegetables at a market. Xiao Mengya went completely pale, her mouth wide open, unable to take her eyes off that beautiful star dial on Ye Xuan's wrist. Regret almost made her throw up blood. With a trembling voice, she forced a flirty smile to try and get close again. She let go of Sun Haya's hand and whispered to Xishuan, "Babe, you were just testing me. Right, I never forgot you. I bet you're just as disgusted as I am." She blamed her rich boyfriend, claiming she never loved him. But Yishuan cut her off. "Get out of my face." Without even looking at her, he spat that icy line, then asked who was going to eat the watch. He glared at Sun Haya, who was already whiter than paper, backing up in fear until he slammed into a display case. "You don't know who my father is," he muttered. "I don't care," Ye Xuan replied, turning around to leave the store. But before crossing the threshold, he stopped right in front of the arrogant employee who had looked down on him earlier. "Give my entire commission to the apprentice," he said, pointing to the girl. "And as for you, I never want to see your face again." "Understood." "Sir, you are fired immediately." "Xiao Chen, don't just stand there. Thank this generous gentleman right now," yelled the manager. That commission was so massive it could buy a luxury house in Zhongcheng. Walking out, Ye Xuan quickly checked his system. Spent $100 billion. Remaining balance, $250 billion. Time limit, exactly 1 hour and 20 minutes. Without wasting a single second, he walked straight into the Armani boutique next door. The salesperson welcomed him with a warm smile. Welcome, sir. Let me show you our new seasonal collection. I want 3 sets of every style in size large, interrupted Yi Xuan. And grab me 3 limited edition crocodile leather suitcases from next door to pack all of these clothes right now. Also, send 100 fine suits to the transport station. My friends will just use them as rags to wipe their hands. An hour later, the entire KP Mall was in absolute shock. Nobody could understand what this mysterious young man was doing. Dressed in incredibly simple clothes, he swept through every designer boutique like an emperor conquering a brand new territory. He didn't even look at the price tags, coldly repeating, "Swipe the card and pack it." The mall's general manager escorted him. The executive and 20 security guards followed him closely, dedicated solely to carrying his monumental mountain of shopping bags. Sun Haya and Xiao Mengya looked like 2 foolish clowns abandoned to their fate, silently following him and wondering about his fortune. She dug her nails into her palms in rage, consumed by jealousy. This must be dirty money. I will report him, she thought. But her complaints did absolutely nothing. Suddenly, the mall's loudspeakers announced they would be closing the doors ahead of schedule. Dear customers, we are closing 30 minutes early because a distinguished guest has booked the entire penthouse garden restaurant tonight. And they also booked a private concert with star pianist Lang Lang. Hearing this, the crowd erupted into massive chaos. Everyone began whispering in utter amazement. Yi Xuan, standing tall at the top of the escalator, smiled with absolute satisfaction. And that's where we leave it. Tell me, what would you and I have bought with all that in cash? All right. Pay attention here, our main character just spent $17 billion and suddenly spots his system screen. Mission complete with $100 million. Congrats to the user for passing the first for extreme wealth trial. Reward delivery starting now. Critical 10 times rebate activated. $3.55 trillion in pure cash has been transferred to your account this very second. 51% of SKP Mall shares are now yours. Your charm and physical stats have also been instantly upgraded. Yi Xuan completely freezes. That massive shopping mall belongs to him now. Meanwhile, the general manager gets a high-priority emergency call. I had no idea you were coming, Mr. President. Please forgive my poor welcome. I am Xiao Jiwan, the general manager. Since you now control 51% of our corporate group, everything in this place changes starting this exact second. Unbelievable. Seeing the top boss drop to his knees like that left everyone in the building completely speechless with shock. That annoying jerk Han Yu is shaking so hard he collapses onto the floor. Yi Xuan looks down coldly and tells the manager to stand. As the new owner, let me issue my very first order. The young man points his finger right at a shivering Han Yu, and Meng Yao too. Those two completely ruined my shopping trip. Throw them out. From today on. They are permanently banned. I never want to see them again. Oh, and that cheap fake watch on his wrist is hurting my eyes. Do me a favor and rip it off right now. Instantly. 20 security guards swarm them like a pack of starving wolves. This is absolutely wild. Yi Xuan, I am your beloved Meng Yao. My dad will ruin you. You will pay. I swear I will make you suffer. Now watch this. The guards slam the screaming coward to the ground and violently rip the watch right off his wrist. One heavy stomp crushes the watch to pieces. The pathetic cries of that toxic couple slowly fade away into the distance. Yi Xuan stands at the top of the escalator, proudly overlooking the massive commercial empire that is now completely his to rule. Suddenly, his phone rings with an unknown number. Hello, is this Mr. Yi Xuan? I am Chen Yunshu and I just heard about your buyout of SK. I am down at the first floor cafe. Chen Yunshu. So you have been hiding out here this whole time. Great, I am actually hungry. But I do not want coffee. I prefer a spicy bowl of malatang. Care to join me? President Chen. Of course. I will eat anything just to meet you. He hangs up the phone with a smug, victorious smile on his face. And between you and me, his next move is about to get even crazier as the dark Jiangcheng night begins to glow. Down the noisy streets of the old Hongxing district, bright headlights cut through the darkness. Suddenly, a massive custom Rolls-Royce appears. Its license plate reads 888A. This ultra-luxury car rolls into the poor neighborhood, slowly maneuvering around the bumpy streets. The ride stops right in front of a humble street food stall. Within seconds, the automatic doors glide open with pure elegance. Chen Yunshu steps out, looking incredibly elegant. Yi Xuan is just sitting on a cheap plastic stool, splitting his wooden chopsticks. Is something wrong? President Chen, is this place too dirty for a high society lady like you? He asks with total chill. Beside him are piles of luxury shopping bags he just bought. Unbothered, he casually wipes the dust off another plastic chair. Have a seat. The meatballs here are easily the best in the city. She takes a deep breath, trying to process this. She sits across from him, staring intently. Mr. Yi, you really have a unique sense of humor for someone of your status. I assumed a billionaire who buys entire corporations without blinking would demand 5-star dining, not a street food joint. Money is meant to buy us freedom, not to become our prison. Order whatever you want. Boss, it is my treat today. You said you would buy me dinner. So do not hold back just because the prices on this cheap menu are so low. Looking at dishes that cost only a few dollars. She is filled with doubt. She already ran a background check on him. Just 24 hours ago, he was a nobody. A simple delivery guy, risking his life in a heavy storm for pocket change. But now, she is sitting with a man whose heavy presence is impossible for even a seasoned business expert to read. I will order a bit of everything, she says, setting the menu aside. Mr. Yi, it is time to talk business. I want to discuss your generous financial backing and your new takeover of SKP. But he suddenly cuts her off. No business talk while we eat, or we will get indigestion. Ma'am, Please bring us 2 large bowls, medium spice, extra vinegar, coming right up. Oh, did you bring your girlfriend today? What a gorgeous young lady, but she looks way too thin. Eat up, it is on the house. Chen Yunshu's face turns bright red as she frantically waves her hands in denial. It is not what you think. Ma'am, actually, I am her debt collector. Yi Xuan jokes, grabbing the vinegar bottle casually. He pours a generous splash into her bowl. Try it. I guarantee vinegar is the real secret behind this amazing dish. Hearing this, the president's stiff corporate guard completely melts away. For just a split second, she hesitates to take a bite. And trust me, after one bite of that sweet and spicy soup, we both know their chaotic romance is only just beginning. You and I are starting a wild ride today, beginning with her literally tearing up from spicy food while he tries to calm her down. No one is going to steal it. Yi Chuan hands her a tissue, and a super nervous Chen Yunshu takes it to wipe her mouth. Right then, she drops that ice-cold guard she always carries, showing her true, lively self for once. In a much softer, more serious voice, she whispers, Ye Chuan, thank you, and not just for helping with Tong Tong. The truth is SkyOp always tried to block our ads, and if you hadn't bought out the SKP company to renew the contract, our launch next month would have been completely ruined. Meanwhile, Yi Chuan just chews on a meatball and triggers his special golden eye ability, watching red target data float right above her head. Target Chen Yunshu, head of the Chen Group, current state, imminent mental breakdown from extreme anxiety. Problem number 1, funding chain, broken by her rival Tianxiang Fan. Her company is facing a massive cash shortage of nearly $2.88 billion. Problem number 2, internal betrayal by design director Xu Peng, who was bought out and plans to leak their bidding prices at tomorrow morning's auction. Problem number 3, a stock agreement signed with the family elders. If she fails to profit this quarter, she loses her position and gets forced to marry the young master of Tianxiang Fan with 12 hours left. Pay close attention here, because this girl is not the cold boss she seems. She is basically a prime target surrounded by monsters ready to tear her apart. Yi Chuan sets his chopsticks down and looks up, with a slight grin, saying, "Excuse my honesty, but your real worry right now is not the venue space." Right. From what I know of your cash flow, I highly doubt you have the money to rent SkyOp's venue. Chen Yunshu stares at him in absolute shock and asks, "How do you know that?" "My company's financial status, strictly confidential. Not even the vice president knows. Are you a corporate spy?" "I am your savior, not a spy," he replies. Then he pulls out another tissue and naturally grabs her hand to wipe away a bit of grease. His warm fingers brush against her freezing skin, sending a sudden, intense shiver straight through her entire body. She flinches, but strangely does not pull away. He goes on, "I don't just know you are short on cash. Here is the twist that will leave us completely stunned." As he reveals she is ruined because of a traitor very close to her. Her face turns completely pale. Right at that moment, her phone vibrates violently, showing a call from the design director himself. Shupeng, she glances at Yichuan, and he nods, signaling her to pick up. Hello, Director Shu. How are tomorrow's auction preparations going? But a shaking, frantic voice responds on the other end. President Chen, we have a massive crisis. A hacker group just breached our main server and wiped out every single design for the Lusu project. Even our backup hard drives are completely ruined. Hearing this, she leaps up so violently, she knocks over the red plastic chair she was sitting on. How is that possible? Our security is top tier. And the backup was in your personal safe. How was it destroyed? I don't know, boss, but the auction starts tomorrow at 9, and we simply have no time to redesign anything. President Chen, the rival planned this perfectly. We are completely finished. The phone slips from her hand, crashing to the floor, as all remaining strength drains from her body. Feeling her entire world collapse, she tries to sit back down, totally forgetting her chair is gone. Right before she hits the dirty floor, Yichuan catches her with one arm while calmly picking up the phone with his other hand. Speaking to the director still on the line. Quite an amazing performance. The guy freezes, then roars. Who the hell are you? Yichuan chuckles softly and responds, who I am does not matter. But I hope those $70 billion from Dawson Capital can buy you a nice wheelchair. With that, he hangs up and tosses the phone. Chen Junshu buries her face in his chest, trembling uncontrollably, completely lost. Right now, the icy boss is gone, leaving only a broken, vulnerable woman at her absolute limit. It is all over, she whispers in despair. That was our very last chance to survive. The drafts are gone, and tomorrow we get sued for breach of contract. I will owe a penalty of $1 billion, and my own family will destroy me. But in this chaotic market, Yichuan speaks with an almost magical calm that melts away her fear, holding her gently to keep her standing steady. From scratch, as long as you breathe, this game is not over. Trust me, things are about to get intense. Come along with me on this wild ride. Tears fill Chen Yunshu's eyes. We have less than 10 hours left. This was the hard work of dozens of designers. Yunshu. Yishin lets her go and immediately turns around. He picks up the expensive bags from the floor with a sharp glare like a predator locking onto its prey. Let's go. Where? To your company. If that Su Peng guy deleted everything, I will show him reality. He is going to see a real miracle. Half an hour later, they arrive at the Chen Group headquarters. The office lights are still on, and the design department is in absolute, total chaos. Designers are tearing their hair out in front of blank screens, some crying, others screaming in frustration. Director Su Peng pretends to order a data recovery, but he is secretly keeping an eye on the clock. A faint, barely visible smug smile plays on his face. But right then, a massive commotion breaks out. The noise is coming from the entrance. Su Peng quickly fakes a worried look before walking over. President Chen, you are finally here. But he does not see the defeated, desperate look he was dying to witness. Instead, Chen Yunshu walks in with complete confidence, even though there are still tear stains on her face. Her aura is powerful and commanding. Right beside her walks a young guy carrying a bag of takeout food. Su Peng is completely thrown off. Ye Xuan casually places the food right onto the conference table. Then he walks straight toward Su Peng, who instantly gets chills under Yi Xuan's freezing, intense glare. Now pay attention here, because things are about to get real. Su Peng asks why they brought a stranger during a crisis. Su Peng snaps back with hostility. Yi Xuan just ignores him, turning straight toward the main control server. His fingers fly across the keyboard. The system triggers his OP hacker skills to track down the deleted data. The recovery process begins. Green lines of code suddenly rush across the black screens at insane speeds. Data flashes by in a blur. The IT chief watches this incredible display, completely blown away. That hand speed is unreal. He is coding and tracking the system at the exact same time. 1 minute passes. He hits the enter key. The giant monitor flashes to life, but it does not show the lost Ostizens. Instead, it is a security tape alongside chat logs. It shows Su Peng from just 30 seconds ago. The traitor plugged a USB drive into the server and sent a direct text message to his partner in crime. Everything is gone. Boss Tianxiang, that idiot Chen is finished. The entire room drops into dead silence. You can feel the drama. Right. Furious glares from all the designers lock onto Su Peng's pale face. This is a setup. You are falsely accusing me. He screams in panic. Chen Yunshu looks up at the screen. Her heart shatters into pieces from the betrayal shill. Grab this traitor right now. She orders firmly. Guards instantly pounce on him. You dare touch me. Without my team, you are nothing. The madman screams. Su Peng keeps raving madly as they drag him away. Catching a spy always feels incredibly satisfying. But the original blueprints are still gone. A heavy, grim silence of pure despair fills the room once again. The tech director timidly asks if it is possible to recover those precious, high-value design files too. They were completely destroyed. Yi Xuan shakes his head, crushing everyone's last bit of hope. Suddenly, the young guy sits back in the president's chair, slurps some spicy noodles, and talks totally relaxed. Those trash designs needed to disappear anyway. A design manager absolutely explodes with anger at such a rude insult. That was 3 whole months of hard work. Yi Xuan ignores their rage and looks at Chen Yunshu. Do you have a tablet and a stylus? Startled, she hands them over almost on pure instinct. He grabs the pen and spins it skillfully. Right at that moment, his mental system boots up again. Extreme crisis detected. Item exchange initiated. Activating the 2035 Advertising Creativity Master Guide. Futuristic images flood Yi Xuan's mind, showing advanced artistic concepts and unbelievably spectacular visual compositions. It is a visual feast straight from the future. Over the next hour, the designers' minds are completely blown. The company's whole creative direction gets upgraded. The delivery guy they mocked is now working with sheer mastery. He draws with the rapid precision of a human printer. His hands bring incredible art onto the screen. Trust me, you and I are witnessing a mind-blowing masterpiece come to life right before our eyes. The lighting is absolute perfection. It is a stunning blend of cyberpunk vibes and cutting-edge traditional art. All right, you and I have to see this lighting. It is a total masterpiece. The assistant who just doubted Yi Shuan, Dot, is practically kneeling now to serve him water with absolute respect, right as the final perspective is completed. Yi Shuan sets down his stylus and rotates his wrist to ease the tension. On screen, a striking poster stands out titled, Rebirth from the Ruins. A brave rose blooming right in the middle of a fierce storm. This powerful image perfectly mirrored Yifishuan, while matching the exact despair that Chen Yunshu had been carrying deep inside her soul for so long. Chen Yunshu stares at the masterpiece in silence, tears streaming down her face. Then she looks over at this young man, devouring cold, spicy noodles, right at that very second. The high walls protecting her heart crumble to the ground. Yishu swallows his last bite and says calmly, "Done. Our next move is to pull in the net and catch the fish. At tomorrow's auction, I will make Tiancheng Capital return everything they stole from us, with heavy interest piled on top." He stands up and walks over to the massive window, looking out over the breathtaking night skyline of Jiangcheng City. Now pay attention. This is where the tension spikes. He asks her, "President Chen, do you dare to bet with me?" She steps up beside him. The doubt in her eyes vanishes, replaced by pure, unshakable determination. Why wouldn't she? Even if we lose. The worst thing would just be delivering food with you again. Yi Shuan smiles and tells her that is impossible. He tilts his head and adds, "The passenger seat is strictly reserved for my future wife." Meanwhile, over in Zhangcheng, today is the final bidding day for the massive new commercial district project, a major milestone for the entire city. We are talking about a multi-billion-dollar cake that will decide who dominates the local market for the next 10 years. Suddenly, an incredibly flashy, neon green Lamborghini roars loudly in the distance, instantly grabbing everyone's attention. The engine growls as the car parks arrogantly right in the exclusive VIP area, rudely blocking the adjacent lane. The scissor doors swing open, and out steps a clean-cut guy in a white suit with slicked-back hair. It is Wu Zixian, the heir of Tiancheng Capital, followed closely by his brown-nosing sidekick, Xu Peng, and Chen Shigen, who just got out on bail last night. Young Master Wu, do not worry. Chen Yunshu is done. Xu Peng says this with massive dark circles. Even with his face swollen, his eyes gleam with twisted excitement. The data we managed to destroy completely changes the game. I personally made sure to wipe every single file, even using industrial magnets on the hard drives to erase any trace. Even if a god came down from heaven today, they would have nothing to present except blank paper, making fools of themselves. Now you and I both know karma is on its way. Wu Zixian celebrates, thinking he will steal everything as the Chen family falls. Right as he finishes speaking, a black Audi A6 pulls up slowly. It is Chen Yunshu's car, looking modest next to those supercars. The ride looks almost shabby by comparison. Wu Zixuan whistles mockingly, swaggering over to them side by side with Xu Peng. They block their path. Well, look who we have here. The beloved Miss Chen. The car door opens and she steps out. After a night of torment. She looks incredibly radiant and beautiful today. Her gorgeous, almond-shaped eyes show no hint of distress. Not a single trace of yesterday's worry remains. Right then, a young man calmly gets out from the driver's side. It is Ye Xuan, to match Chen Yunshu. Today he wears an elegant gray casual suit without a tie, but with incredible presence. His aura is cold, imposing and powerful, like an absolute king. In his hand, he carries a metallic silver briefcase. He says in a freezing tone, "A good dog does not block the path of people." She nods with equal coldness. Chen Yunshu, you are on the brink of ruin, and yet you still act arrogant. I heard your design team cried all night. Your server was completely destroyed. Right. Are you here to announce your withdrawal and beg me on your knees for a buyout? He scans her body with a sleazy, lingering gaze, enjoying every second of it, before dropping his voice to a whisper. If you came to my room tonight, maybe I could raise the buyout offer a bit. But before he can even finish, a hand suddenly waves right in front of Wu Zixuan's face, as if shooing away an incredibly annoying fly. Hey you, take your bad breath somewhere else. You are already grossing out my boss. Who the hell are you to talk to me like that? You are just a miserable driver. Young Master Wu. This is the delivery guy from last night. He almost ruined our entire plan. Wu Zixuan bursts into hysterical laughter, doubling over. Chen Yunshu. Have you lost your mind bringing a simple food delivery guy? I do not know about you, but I am dying of laughter here. Bringing a delivery driver to a multi-million-dollar bidding. Absolute madness. Are you going to bribe the judges with spicy noodles? Ye Xuan activates his golden eyes, analyzing Wu Zixuan's current state, his stats, extreme confidence, stage 2 kidney issues, bidding documents hidden in his coat, and a bottle of blue pills, to bribe Professor Liu, head of the evaluation committee. Everything had been smoothly arranged between them using discreet hand signals. All right, you and I are about to watch this corrupt guy fall. His encrypted phone holds all those illegal jury bribes without a license. No kidding. That sealed hair medicine you took last night. Totally expired. Your forehead looks dark. A terrible disaster is heading your way today. A bloody, brutal disaster. Plus, that greedy old Professor Li Wu won't be satisfied with that tiny tea money bribe you gave him. It won't even cover a tip. Wu Zixuan's smug smile froze instantly, his pupils shrinking into tiny, terrified pinpricks. How on earth did this guy know about the medicine? And worse, the professor, before the corrupt jerk could even react. Yi Chuan grabbed Chen Yunshu's arm, guiding her past him like literal garbage. She whispered, asking what he told the guy. Why did he turn so pale? Oh, nothing, just read his fortune. President Chen. Keep your focus on your presentation. Leave the rest to me. Meanwhile, in the bidding hall, the 5 imposing committee members took their grand seats. Right in the center sat old, bald Professor Li Wu, supposedly a highly respected titan in this elite business industry. The room was packed with elite Zhangcheng tycoons, with eager reporters and heavy cameras completely jamming the back rows. Next, they called Tiancheng Capital to present. The second the announcement finished, Wu Shixian marched up alongside Su Peng, even though Ye Chuan had just terrified him. Stepping back onto his home turf brought his annoying arrogance right back. Respected committee and honored guests. Today, our firm proudly presents our most ambitious project, yet the urban oasis. We are building a spectacular hanging garden, combining eco-friendly conservation with the absolute peak of modern technology. Now watch closely, here is where it gets crazy. As slides flickered, the audience whispered at the blatant plagiarism. Wait, is not that our original design? She gripped her clothes, turning pale. Su Peng stole the file before deleting it. He handed the copy straight to Wu Shixian. This so-called urban oasis was a cheap, stolen copy of Chen Group's hard work. Chen Yunshu grit her teeth. That double helix structure was her company's exclusive, patented design. And that photosynthetic glass facade, entirely their idea. Below the stage, Ye Chuan just smirked with ice-cold confidence, pulling out his phone. He effortlessly bypassed security, hacking directly into the main projector system in mere seconds. If they wanted to steal, he would give them a legendary scandal. On stage, the thieves boasted of 6 months of hard work. They claimed it was a completely unique masterpiece. But right at their peak moment, the massive screen suddenly flickered. The display split right down the middle for a live comparison. On the left was their stolen presentation, and on the right, internal video recordings of Chen Group from 3 months ago. Dead silence hit the room. I know you and I are loving this payback. The silent hall suddenly erupted into absolute chaos over the stolen work. It was an undeniable carbon copy theft. How could such a massive firm sink to such incredibly cheap tactics? Su Peng stood frozen on stage, pale as a ghost and shaking like a leaf. His voice vanished completely. He stared at the screen in pure panic, cold sweat drenching his back. What on earth was going on? He furiously demanded they turn off the projector immediately. But the terrified technician swore the system was completely unresponsive to commands. A massive virus had locked them out. Before anyone could pull the plugs, giant red text hijacked the screen. A blood-red warning flashed before the entire crowd, sealing the fate of these pathetic intellectual property thieves. It directly exposed their disgusting theft. Then the screen went black, leaving the entire room in absolute shock. Down below, Ye Chuan casually pocketed his phone. Calmly, he unwrapped a little mint candy she had gifted him. Pop, he savored the victory. Talk about a masterclass move. Chen Yunshu watched the chaos unfold in utter disbelief. All her anxiety vanished. Enjoying the mint. He whispered that this was just a minor warm-up for the main event. Up on the panel, Professor Li Wu turned paper white. The esteemed, untouchable judge was now shaking in sheer panic. His seat felt like burning coals. He had taken a massive bribe, but with such blatant plagiarism exposed. Watch how quickly their entire reputation turns to ash in a single second because of this brainless theft. Now Professor Li Wu has to save his own skin, clearing his throat. He announces Tiancheng's proposals is under serious dispute, postponing the decision indefinitely. Wu Shixian slinks off the stage, completely ruined, muttering that they totally blew it. Just you wait. The moment you step outside, I'll make sure you end up begging on the streets. Is this your way of begging for mercy? Better buy some tissues, because you're about to cry your eyes out. Right then, Chen Yunshu takes a deep breath and stands up. Every single eye in the auditorium locks onto her. Some look on with pity, others crave the drama, and many still doubt her after the previous plagiarism chaos. We are all dying to see how she saves her company. With absolute confidence, she steps forward, and trust me, all right, you and I are on the main stage. No flash drive, no papers, she just stands there in absolute silence. Right in the center of the podium, a single spotlight frames her like an imposing queen ready for her coronation. Her voice is cold and incredibly firm as she says, just a moment ago, everyone here witnessed the Oasis City project, right? Well, that design was actually nothing more than a simple, discarded draft created by our very own Chen Group, and we threw it out because it is completely obsolete. The entire hall immediately erupts in shocked whispers at her boldness. Nobody can deny that the design was top tier, but she continues, to avoid wasting your time. Assistant, let us begin. Yi Chuas nods and pops open a silver metallic briefcase, pulling out not paper, but a mysterious, sleek object. It is a fist-sized black crystal, a portable holographic projector he got directly from his cheat system. This model from the year 2035 is worth over 700,000, and he places it center stage. Everyone stretches their necks to get a better look, and suddenly, a brilliant beam of blue light shoots straight up. Now watch closely as the entire room goes pitch black, completely replaced by an unbelievable sight. A massive virtual city floating in midair with breathtaking realism. Forget about those incredibly boring traditional slides. No flat 2D blueprints here. Right now, it feels like stepping directly into a futuristic cyberpunk metropolis. Colossal neon signs flicker overhead, and it looks so insanely realistic you can even see the virtual pedestrians' faces. In the very center of the layout stands a majestic building shaped like a mechanical lotus, slowly spinning open. This is the Chen Group's brand new project, the Reborn Lotus, leaving everyone wondering what insane technology this is. And think about it. We are not talking 3D glasses here, but a mind-blowing, next-level hologram. It looks like a Hollywood blockbuster, and the design is so incredibly stunning that it steals everyone's breath away. Compared to this masterpiece, The stolen project looks like a rundown shack, sending the entire press into a frenzy. Reporters snap photos like absolute madmen. Camera flashes lighting up the venue like bright daylight, all while our lead stands proudly in the center of that colossal digital lotus like a goddess, gracefully sweeping her hand through the air. Instantly, the entire structure deconstructs and rebuilds itself, revealing a flawless business ecosystem that leaves the crowd completely stunned. We do not wait for the future. We build it. There is absolutely no doubt this presentation is historic. You and I are witnessing an absolute, one-sided beatdown here. This rival is playing in a completely different league. Professor Liu, who was looking for trouble earlier, sits slack-jawed, nearly losing his teeth from sheer visual shock. If he dared to complain now, the hyped crowd would tear him apart. Suddenly, a judge shouts, "Perfect score. This is a truly legendary masterpiece." The man stands up, clapping and cheering with overwhelming, emotional excitement. Deafening applause echoes throughout the entire venue with absolutely no signs of stopping. Meanwhile, down in the crowd, Wu Zixion's face goes completely pale. He collapses back into his seat, knowing his game is officially over. No matter how much wealth or influence he boasts, against such overwhelming brilliance, his entire scheme looks pathetic. Shen Yunxiu looks out at the crowd from the and seeing everyone celebrate with such intense joy, her eyes fill with tears of pure happiness. She looks at Ye Chuan holding the projector, and he playfully winks back. He silently mouths how incredible she is. In the end, the Chen Group secures the massive government contract, winning by a massive landslide. News spreads, and the company's skyrocketing stock prices instantly rebound to the moon. Their market value shoots straight up to the daily limit. Immediately, a horde of eager reporters surrounds them. "Miss Chen, can you tell us about this revolutionary technology? Did your company design it all? Please answer us." And that is how our female lead rises. "Tell me, wasn't this massive victory worth watching with me?" She desperately searches for him in the crowd. But the true hero of the night has already completely vanished, leaving no trace. Yi Chuan leans against a wall in a back alley, smoking casually, right in front of him. Two men are kneeling. One is So Peng, bruised and beaten, while the other is none other than Wu Zixian, shivering in absolute panic. They are surrounded by over 10 massive thugs wearing black suits and dark sunglasses. And here is the kicker. Their leader is Brother Thordao himself, the loan shark, who recently swore absolute loyalty. Now he acts as Ye Chuan's head of security, shaking Wu Zixian Beg. "Grandfather Yi, I was blind and foolish. I failed to recognize your greatness." All of his previous arrogance has vanished, leaving him completely helpless before him. You can practically feel his absolute terror seeing Brother Thordao holding an iron pipe. The guy literally wet himself. "All right, you and I are about to watch this spineless Wu clan coward beg for his life while our main character just chills." He blows smoke rings, looks down, and smiles. Do you really think I need your pocket change? Then he writes a massive check, slapping it right onto the guy's face. He says, "Here is $1,400,000 for your mental trauma. You know, for calling me a low-life delivery boy earlier. But wait, you are the one paying me, not the other way around." The bully completely freezes and quickly agrees. Our hero sighs. "I do not need the cash, but I hate when people owe me. Brother Dao, why don't you teach this young man how to draft a loan contract with some absolutely ridiculous interest rates? Just like those shady deals back in Macau." The underling grins. "Understood, boss. Squeezing people dry is my absolute specialty." Dao lets out a wicked laugh as he steps forward, while our protagonist calmly walks away, ignoring his victim's painful screams. But the moment he steps out of the alley, his phone rings. "Yi Shituan, where are you? The big party is about to start and you are the guest of honor." He just sighs. "Forget that party. I am really not into those crowded places." Instead, he glances toward the financial district, where a massive billboard from the Chen Group flashes a highlight direct message. "Now pay attention to this billboard." It reads, "President Chen, do not forget our deal to save me the co-platelet seat." She blushes in silence before texting back, "I do not want a passenger. I want you to drive my entire life forever." Talk about a massive romantic confession. He is stunned. But suddenly, the powerful system in his head violently boots up. A deafening red alarm blares inside his brain. Warning, extreme danger ahead. You have relied on too much future technology and attracted criminal syndicates. A deadly rank S threat is closing in. Black Mamba, the most dangerous assassin syndicate on Earth, has accepted the contract, and the target is you. Bounty $100 million. Client the wealthy father of Wu Zixian. You have 30 minutes before they strike. Well, beat the puppy and the old dog comes out to bite. He immediately tells Yunshu, cancel everything and head home. Lock all the doors and windows. Dao will secure your villa with his men. No matter what. Do not step aside. What is going on? Yishan, you are scaring me. He mutters. It is nothing. While staring coldly into the distance. I know what you are thinking. An enemy helicopter. Yeah, but to him, it is just trash waiting to be swept. He is about to show everyone who owns this city. Down in the old abandoned industrial zone, the air feels heavy. The air is thick as lead. That black chopper does not fire immediately. It circles around him like a hungry vulture, waiting for its prey, before finally hovering over a ruined building 1 kilometer away. Exactly. Yishuan stands completely calm in the empty street. His cigarette is nearly burnt down. Just come out already. He mutters. He flickers the ash with a freezing tone. You call yourselves the finest assassin syndicate on Earth, but you are hiding in the sewers like filthy sewer rats. Suddenly, an absolute deathly silence drops over the entire area. Suddenly, a sharp whistle slices the wind like death taking a breath. Any ordinary human would be dead right now. Their skull would have exploded from that high-caliber bullet. But he is built different. and his golden eyes track everything. That bullet tearing through the air at Mach 3 suddenly slows down in his vision, moving like a tired snail. Yishuan does not even blink. He simply tilts his head with a motion so tiny it is practically invisible. The bullet barely grazes a strand of his hair before slamming hard into the concrete pillar behind him, leaving a massive crater in the structure. Is that the best you have? He looks up to find the shooter, roughly 500 meters out. His gaze locks onto the enemy sniper, hiding behind a giant advertising billboard, up on that ruined rooftop. The shooter Nash peers through his scope, only to find our main character is still, standing there totally fine, casually flipping him off with utter contempt. Drenched in sweat, Nash panics over his radio. Sir, the target dodged it. It is impossible. He dodged a direct shot from 500 meters away. No way. Shut your mouth. Teams B and C. Move in for close combat right now. Do not give him a second to breathe. Instantly, 12 dark figures leap out from the ruins, surrounding our protagonist completely in the blink of an eye. They are packing military-grade combat exoskeletons, silenced weapons, and high-frequency vibration blades capable of slicing steel. Moving with terrifying coordination, they act like a pack of starving wolves cornering their prey with no escape. Even with guns pointed at him, Yishuan does not show any fear. In fact, it is quite the opposite. His expression turns completely bloodthirsty. He calls out, System Rank S threat detected. Open up the shop right now. A heavy barrier shield for $50 million. And trust me, you and I are about to witness an epic ending. Come along with me for some absolute madness activating the 10-minute Terminator 801 card and permanent 100 million Bajiquan style, starting with 500 million. Buying Bajiquan leaves a balance of 200 million, while the power transfers straight into his body. Transfer complete. A terrifying wave of heat surges through Yishuan instantly, making his bones pop and crack with immense power. His lean muscles instantly expand and tighten, feeling a raw destructive force in every fiber that could tear down entire mountains. As that energy condenses, two deadly assassins charge him with high-frequency daggers that gleam with a cold, ruthless light. They aim straight for his neck and heart from both sides, but a freezing voice whispers in their ears it is already too late. Trash. Yishuan does not even throw a punch. He simply drops his shoulder and brutally rams the assassin on the left. The impact rattles his very bones. The killer wore a Kevlar vest and an exoskeleton suit, but it meant absolutely nothing. He felt like a high-speed train slammed right into him, sending him flying backward through the air like a human cannonball, crashing straight through a brick wall that crumbles into pieces. The other 10 assassins freeze in place, paralyzed by pure panic. Fire, shoot him right now. Do not let him get close. Captain Viper screams in total desperation over their comms. Kill that bastard. Instantly, countless muzzle flashes light up the dark as a furious storm of bullets unleashes upon him, targeting Yishuan like a hurricane. but he is already moving with high-speed footwork, enhanced by his ultimate combat system, dodging bullets like a ghostly shadow. His golden eyes activate to their limit, revealing enemy bullet trajectories with absolute clarity. Now pay close attention, because he sees every bullet trail in the air, and for those he does not dodge. He just reaches out. His fingers move like lightning, incredibly catching a bullet mid-air with his bare hand. This guy is a literal monster. He is a freak. Now it is my turn. Yi Xuan mutters, tossing the bullet back. The next 3 minutes are a complete bloodbath. He becomes death itself. Wherever he steps, bodies drop. He unleashes the full explosive raw power of the Bajiquan style. Heartbreaker elbow. Yama 3 strikes. Heavenly cannon punch. Every move is simple, direct and brutally lethal to his enemies. With terrifying destructive power, those exoskeleton suits shred like wet paper. Suddenly, one mercenary tries to use a grenade launcher, but before he can shoot, Yi Xuan snaps his arm with a kick. The weapon drops, and a massive explosion rings out, sending the assassin flying. After kicking the last man down, the entire street falls back into a dead, heavy silence. Yi Xuan stands calm in the middle of this slaughter. His elegant Armani suit does not have a single drop of blood. Completely spotless. Only a blazing golden fire glows in his deep eyes as he looks up toward the rooftop of the building. Up on that abandoned roof, the final target is still hiding. But the sniper holding the rifle is shaking out of control. He has been a mercenary for 20 years, assassinating leaders in the Philippines and cold-bloodedly sabotaging oil rigs. He has seen all kinds of ruthless monsters, but someone who wipes out a fully armed elite squad with bare hands, and all in 3 minutes. I know what you are thinking. This is a level of crazy no assassin would believe. Abort the mission now. The intel was completely wrong. This is far beyond an S-rank or suicide mission. Ghost screams desperately over the radio while trying to escape using a steel wire. But as he turns around, since you are here, why not stay for some tea? He draws his Desert Eagle from his leg holster and fires. The gunshot booms, but Ye Xuan has already vanished. The very next second, Ghost Snake feels an absolute, chilling cold. An icy numbness grips his wrist, followed instantly by a sickening, white-hot pain that cuts straight to his bones. His severed right hand drops to the ground, still holding the gun. The cut is clean as glass, and standing before him, Yi Xuan is calmly playing with a bloody, rusted piece of metal. Turns out, it is just a simple soda can tab, a basic beer tab he swiped from the dirt. At his insane level, any ordinary item becomes a lethal weapon. Ghost Snake clutches his bleeding wrist, screaming in agony as he collapses to his knees, utterly defeated. His eyes are wide with pure horror. Do not kill me. I am the chief of the Black Mamba Asian Division. If you kill me, they will hunt you globally. Yi Xuan looks down with cold disdain. An ant dares to threaten me. Do you know what I hate most? Being threatened with something I have way too much of, like money. Yi Xuan immediately pulls out his phone, bringing up a glowing floating screen. It is a portal opened by his system. The headquarters of the Black Mamba organization is located on a tiny private island in the international waters of the Pacific. They hold over $30 billion in assets. Their current commander goes by the alias Poon King. He is the bastard son of a bankrupt European noble. How do you know that? That is top secret intel. Activating god-level hacking to freeze all their funds. Trust me, you and I are going to love what happens next. Let's jump in and watch a new bounty get issued. 3 seconds later, Viper's device vibrated like crazy, and he wasn't alone. Instantly, 3,000 Black Mamba assassins around the world received the ultimate red alert. The main target of this massive bounty was the entire Poison King family, focusing on Wu Zetian and his father Wu Doumao, offering $1 billion. The twist is whoever brings back the head of Wu Daomao gets to lead Black Mamba next. See, the current chief was bought out by an insanely rich billionaire for the unbelievable sum of $5 billion, renaming the entire deadly organization to the Retribution. He bought the whole group just like that. Viper whispered to himself, feeling his entire world collapse right before him. He never imagined anyone had the sheer power and nerve to buy an assassin guild so easily. What's wrong? Don't believe me? Then check your bank account right now. Think of it as a welcome gift, a quick bonus of $1 million for the ownership change to every living killer. Right then, Viper's phone buzzed with a notification. Balance updated. Plus $1 million. In that split second, the way Viper looked at Yi Xuan completely changed. Not fear anymore, but pure crazy worship. Oh boss, dropping to his knees and slamming his head against the ground in desperation. Pay close attention to how he begs now. I was blind to your greatness. Boss, I will go through fire for you. And I will take down that miserable old Wu Daomao immediately. But your hand is severed. You are useless now. I do not train trash. Viper's face went completely pale. But suddenly Yi Xuan softened his cold voice. Take this pill, swallow it, and your arm will heal. Plus, you will triple your current physical strength. It costs $7 million in the system shop, but it is poisoned, needing an antidote every 3 months. Still, I will take it. Viper swallowed the pill without a second thought. Instantly, something incredible happened right there on his severed wrist. Flesh and muscle started to regenerate. The bleeding stopped, and the wound closed up right before their eyes. This is an absolute miracle from heaven. Viper wept with emotion, feeling deeply grateful for this unexpected salvation. Yi Xuan walked to the edge of the rooftop. Clean up this mess. I want no shooting reports on the news. Tell everyone. I want to take my time playing with the Wu clan. Do not let them die too quickly. First, choke their finances. Then, destroy their key social connections and contacts. In the end, I want to see them kneeling and begging for death at the Chen group. Understood. Boss, after tonight, the Wu clan is history. In the underworld, Yi Xuan leaped from the 30th floor and, in the middle of free fall, activated his anti-gravity wingsuit from the system. He glided through the air like a giant bat before vanishing into the night. Meanwhile, Chen Yunshu was waiting anxiously on her sofa with the lights on, clutching a cushion tightly. You and I can feel her anxiety here. The TV stayed on, but she was half asleep with tears in her eyes, praying silently with her hands pressed together, hoping nothing bad would happen to her savior. Right then, the door's fingerprint scanner beeped. She leaped up like a startled spring, running barefoot to the entrance without even putting on her sandals. The door opened. Sorry I'm late, my love. I stopped by the night market and got those 30 shrimp you love so we can eat together. Chen Yunshu couldn't hold back her tears and threw herself into his arms, hugging his waist tightly. Her tears instantly soaked his shirt. Where were you? You have no idea how worried I was about you. I heard helicopters. He smiled, calling her a silly girl in his head. I told you, just clearing some trash. He looked out the window where the dark clouds had cleared, revealing a bright and peaceful moon. Zhangsheng is mine now. Nobody will ever hurt you again. Yi Swan, please tell me, who are you really? Kissing her gently to dry her tears, he softly replied, I am an incredibly rich man, and your loyal protector. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, the leader of the Wu clan, Wu Daomao, waited anxiously in his office. Why haven't they reported back yet? What on earth is that useless viper doing with the mission? Wu Daomao angrily crushed his cigarette in the ashtray. Right then, the door burst wide open. The butler ran in pale with terror. Sir, we are ruined. A massive catastrophe has ruined everything. Why are you screaming like a madman? Is the sky falling? He roared furiously, grabbing the tablet. The sky is falling. Sir, look. The entire web is flooded with death bounties targeting our own family. Our stocks crashed 90% before opening. Trust me, you and I just saw karma hit them hard. Join me for this epic collapse as 10 investors withdraw their funds and President Wu desperately grabs his tablet. Instantly, his world spins. Wu coughs up a mouthful of blood, seeing his own face plastered all over the internet. Beneath his image, blood-red letters announce a global manhunt, declaring that the powerful Wu clan has finally fallen. A bounty of $1 billion. The old man roars like a cornered beast, wondering who is behind this. Suddenly, the office phone rings from an unknown number. His hand shakes with absolute terror as he answers. A distorted, ice-cold voice whispers from the other end, "Good evening, President Wu. I hope you are ready. I heard you wanted Black Mamba to kill me. Too bad, because he now works for the I family. Enjoy your very last night. Tomorrow, as soon as the sun rises, your entire dynasty ends once and for all." The call disconnects and the phone drops. Wu collapses into his chair, completely broken, staring blankly ahead. The lights of the city he once ruled now look like guides dragging him straight down to hell. Sunrise in Zhangcheng is usually chaotic yet orderly, but today the entire city feels strangely, suffocatingly tense. Absolute madness erupts because of a mysterious group called Die Retribution and that brutal post on the dark web. Now watch this, a $1 billion bounty is enough to buy a country, driving the underworld completely insane. The Wu Group headquarters, a massive glass skyscraper that once symbolized absolute power, is now the ultimate target. It is so surrounded that not even an ant could escape. But the crowd outside is not looking for normal answers. They are not reporters or angry employees demanding wages, but armed killers ready to do anything for that massive bounty. Meanwhile, up in his penthouse office, President Wu looks like he has aged 10 whole years in one single night. Sitting in his expensive chair with bloodshot eyes and messy hair, he desperately clings to his satellite phone. Hello, it is Old Man Wu. Please, just send bodyguards to protect me. What? The signal is cut off. Met with dead silence. Wu loses his mind and throws the phone hard against the giant glass window. The impact cracks the bulletproof glass, reflecting the swarm of hunters waiting down below like hungry ants. Suddenly, the heavy mahogany door is kicked wide open. But the one stepping inside is no ruthless assassin. It is his own secretary, previously submissive, now entering with a cardboard box and a cold look of pure contempt. President Wu, here is my resignation, she says, throwing the paper in his face. I printed it myself. And by the way, the entire finance department quit. Wu screams in rage that he is still the president. She scoffs, telling him to stop being naive because his company's shares have crashed to absolute zero. The bank froze your accounts. And you haven't even paid this building's electricity bill in 3 months. I know exactly what you are thinking. Watching this corrupt brand crumble is incredibly satisfying. She leaves him ruined. Before leaving, she even shamelessly swipes the extremely expensive solid gold pen sitting right there on his desk. Stop right there. Return that now. Wu roars and tries to chase her, but his own bodyguards block him. 2 massive guys block the exit elite bodyguards he hired himself, paying them an absolute fortune. One of them, chewing gum, tells him to save his breath. They are only staying for a different reason. Someone else paid them more to keep him alive and stop him from committing suicide. Who gave that order? The guard does not answer, simply stepping aside with respect. Suddenly, firm footsteps echo from outside the hallway. Fine leather shoes click against the marble. Each heavy step builds massive tension throughout the quiet room. A young man in a tailored navy blue suit walks in calmly, completely dominating the entire room. He walks arm in arm with a beautiful, cold-eyed woman, followed by a large entourage of sharply dressed professionals, carrying briefcases like a ruthless hostile takeover crew. Young Yichuan calmly greets him good morning. President Wu. The newcomer inspects the luxurious office thoroughly before locking his gaze onto the old man's pale face. So this is the office of Jiangcheng's richest man. Honestly, your taste seems a bit outdated. Yichuan picks up a gold ornament from the desk, tossing it in the air with pure contempt. Then he throws it straight into the trash. Wu glares at him with pure, Murderous rage. It was you. You put that bounty on my head. You monster. What do you want? Even cruelty has limits. What you are doing is illegal. Yichuan pulls up a chair for beautiful Sin Yunxi and relaxes. You sent assassins to kill me last night, and now you cry law. What a hypocrite, don't miss what happens next. So the powerful can burn down everything, while the weak can't even light a candle. Talk about hypocrisy. Stick with me as we watch Yi Xuan make his move. The lawyer stepped forward, opened his black briefcase, and pulled out a thick stack of legal documents, sliding them right in front of Wu Diemeo. Mr. Wu, let me introduce myself. I am the lead legal representative for Mr. Yi Xuan. What you see before you is the official agreement. This document transfers all assets of your group. Your current net debts amount to 230 billion yuan. Due to certain unexpected events, your current valuation is -5 billion. Simply put, your prestigious company is completely finished. Absolute bankruptcy is your only option. However, my boss, Mr. Yi Xuan, out of sheer benevolence, is willing to buy it out. Buy my company. How much are you offering? Cancel the bounty on my head right now, and all of this is yours to take. Yi Xuan smirked and raised a single finger. 10 billion, the old man asked. Trembling, the young man slowly shook his head. 1 billion, the man desperately pressed. Yi Xuan kept shaking his head. 100 million then, he asked in pure agony. The old man's heart sank into an absolute abyss of darkness. The youth's smile faded as he pulled a coin from his pocket. Pay close attention here. It was a worthless, rusty old penny, and it started spinning rapidly on the table before them. It made a harsh metal screech before stopping right in front of him. I am buying everything your family owns, built over 3 whole generations. This building, your real estate, your cars, the shares, and even that luxury designer suit you are wearing. Those words made the old man spit blood in sheer rage. This is too much, he screamed, slamming the table. I would rather burn my empire, or give it away to street beggars before handing it over to you. Yi Xuan just looked at him with fake pity. But let me warn you, there are over 3,000 bounty hunters waiting downstairs right now, losing their patience to claim your head. If I call off the alive-only order, how do you think they will burst through that door? Wu froze in sheer terror. Dad, I do not want to die. His son lost it. Crawling on his knees to cling to his legs, sobbing in despair, with his face drenched in tears, seeing his pathetic, useless son. The old man's very last spark of hope completely died out. His body shook with utter helplessness. He picked up the pen with trembling fingers and looked at his executioner, asking, "Do you hate me this much?" The second his signature hit the paper, it felt as if his soul was ripped from his body, his entire empire gone. His life's works was sold for a single penny to a man he once looked down on as mere trash, a worthless delivery boy. Do you like my wedding gift? Ye Xuan picked up that contract and handed it to Chen Yunshu, who was watching in silence. She held the heavy folder in her hands. The massive corporation that almost destroyed her family was now hers without any effort at all. All thanks to just a few words from this man. Yi Xuan, this is way too valuable, she whispered, feeling like a dream. We are close friends. Do not be shy. Besides, I am too lazy to waste time running a ruined company. Starting today, you are the general manager of the Wu Group, or rather, the Chen Hao Group. Everyone, greet the new president of our subsidiary. He patted the old man's shoulder like comforting a stray dog. You and I both know this humiliation is on another level. To celebrate this successful acquisition, I plan to take these two losers to experience real life. What kind of experience? They asked, trembling. The old man sensed a terrible disaster coming. We are going shopping. Yi Xuan smiled. He snapped his fingers and the system activated, launching a special mission to humiliate former millionaires at this future turning point. The mission, buy everything they ever wanted but could never afford, right in front of them, and force them to carry the bags. We will buy it all and use them as pack mules. Let's head over to the city's most exclusive dealership to watch the magic. The world's greatest scars were lined up here. This used to be young Wu's favorite place to flash his fake wealth. He could only afford to look at standard models worth a few million. But a spectacular Bugatti, La Voiture Noire, stood right in the center. Valued at 120 million yuan. He never dared to dream of touching it. But today he returned under very different circumstances. Now he was here as a simple baggage boy. Young Wu, wearing a torn shirt, submissively followed right behind Yi Xuan's steps. The old man looked like a tired servant, head down and not daring to speak. This car looks very familiar to me. He pointed at the Bugatti, looking at young Wu with a mocking smile, adding that he knew all about his past desires. You begged your father for half a year, and he never wanted to buy it. The youth swallowed hard with infinite bitterness. His face showed intense envy. Since you love it so much, just stand there and admire it all you want, the billionaire said. He approached the sports car, patting its hood. I am sorry, but from now on, you will only drive this in your dreams. He turned to the store's sales manager and ordered him to swipe his card immediately, skipping any test drive. The employee trembled with excitement as he handed over the keys. Under his rival's shattered gaze, Yashin tossed them to Shi. Keep this car for grocery shopping and trash that old truck. Trust me, you and I are just getting started with this revenge. Let's dive in and see how this billionaire completely humiliates everyone, silencing the dealership over a $120 million car. And he just gifts it to his bodyguard like it is nothing. The man holds the keys weeping in shock, instantly kneeling before. Yi Xuan, boss. You are like my second father. My life belongs to you now, he cries while Wu Zixian burns with unbearable jealousy. The car of his dreams, handed to a nobody like loose change. This feels worse than eating garbage to him. He cannot stand it. But this is just the beginning. Yi Xuan swagger walks ahead. That Rolls-Royce, bought, and that Ferrari over there, I want that too. Color is too flashy though. Paint it black. And that Aston Martin is for our cleaning ladies. They should commute in comfort. In just 30 minutes. Our main character completely drains the store, buying every single vehicle available. The total passes 800 million yuan. Meanwhile, Wu Mao and Wu Zixuan trail behind defeated, dragging their feet with arms full of cheap dealership freebies. Pathetic and exhausted. They look exactly like two lost stray dogs with nowhere to go. Every time they see the card swiped, their hearts freeze with pain. Yeah, Shuwan, stop this. We are so sorry. We were truly wrong. Just end us already. Wu Mao finally collapses to the ground, weeping on his knees in a pathetic display. Yi Shuwan stops and looks down at them with massive satisfaction. The year you threw me out like trash from the family, and forced me to work in that freezing storm. Did you show me any mercy? Suddenly his eyes turn cold as ice. Watch closely now, because this is the payback we have been waiting for. I warn you, I will make you beg for death. Bodyguard, throw this trash into prison, and tell the warden to give them a very special cell to enjoy their stay. Oh, and find them some highly enthusiastic cellmates to keep them company. I hear young Master Wu has incredibly delicate skin, so he will definitely be popular in there. The bodyguard smiles and replies, understood. Boss, do not worry about a thing. Wearing a wicked grin, he drags the two men out like dead dogs. As they are hauled away, they scream in absolute despair. You cannot do this to me. I am your older brother. Forgive me. The young man's desperate screams echo loudly across the room. The echo slowly fades into a heavy, dead silence. Done with his enemies. Yishuan lets out a long, quiet sigh. What is wrong? Aren't you happy? Chen Yanzhu steps closer, gently holding his arm. It is nothing. I just feel a little bored. He looks out at the street. The Wu family fell way too fast. They did not even challenge me. She giggles in amusement. Anyone else hearing that would beat you up. They were the absolute rulers of this entire city. But now things have changed. He tenderly takes her hand. Come with me. I want to show you somewhere very special today. Let us see your new top-floor office at the Wu Group headquarters. The view is incredible. Perfect for us just then. As they prepare to leave, our protagonist's phone rings. It is a mysterious call coming from a fully encrypted number. He frowns and answers it. On the other end, the booming voice of an extremely powerful and authoritative old man echoes. Boy, I admit you have caused quite a storm in this city over the past few days. You and I know this is where the real danger begins. He asks who is calling, but the old man dismisses it. Even if that trash Wu Mao dies, nobody will care. But he is still a dog I raised with my own hands. And before you beat a dog, you must respect its master. Yi Shuan sneers. Well, I hit the pup and the old hound emerged, showing absolutely zero fear. He actually feels thrilled to finally face an opponent who might actually be worth his time. Payback. I do not play childish games. The old man replies with an arrogant scoff. You are just a lucky rookie. You might have cash. but against real power. Money is just numbers, and raw physical strength is for the foolish. I am the head butler of the capital's Liu family. My master is highly interested in that billionaire system you possess. Or rather, your uncanny ability to manifest infinite money out of thin air. My lord wants it. Hearing this, Yi Xuan freezes. His pupils shrink as his system flashes a sudden red danger warning. The old man adds, in 3 days, we arrive. We will clean up the mess of the Wu family. Be smart and hand over that mysterious power you hold in your hands. Otherwise, you will learn the meaning of true despair. The call abruptly cuts off. Our main character stands frozen, clutching his phone. He remains silent for a long time. The most powerful clan in the capital has finally decided to make their move. They say they control the entire economy of the nation. Compared to these absolute giants, the Wu family was nothing. And the worst part is they know about his secret system. Yi Xuan, are you okay? Did something happen? She asks. Chen Yanju notices his pale, tense expression. In that exact fraction of a second, he snaps out of it, masking his worry. That heavy look quickly vanishes, instantly replaced by a burning desire to fight and conquer that lights up his entire soul. It is nothing, just a cocky old man. And that is where we leave it today, guys, as he stares toward the north. All right. You and I are about to watch peace shatter in the capital of Yunshu, and trust me, it gets intense. Yi Xuan's system suddenly activates in his mind with a grim warning a massive global crisis is heading their way. Tycoon mission activated before the rival family strikes. You must push your power, fortune and connections to the absolute limit. Clearing this unlocks a military factory packed with advanced futuristic technology and a blueprint to start building his empire. Not to mention 100 biologically modified soldiers with absolute loyalty and the immediate activation of unlimited money mode. For the next 24 hours, any spending is completely free. And he will even get double the amount refunded. Hearing about this third reward, Yi Xuan lets out a wildly arrogant smile, completely brimming with unstoppable confidence. Double cashback with no limits. If the Liu family wants to blockade me financially, they will regret ever trying. Determined to use this cash to crush their finances. Yi Xuan tightly takes the hand of the female-led, Qian Yunshu, do not blink, because with his new ride, he is about to double Sanjiang's gross domestic product by spending wildly. They arrive at the Caesar's Palace cruise ship, hosting the charity gala of the century, but this is no simple donation drive. It is a massive power flex by Western capitalists and local allies, openly led by the incredibly influential Rothschild family. The Liu family is co-hosting this massive event, with a scale that completely dwarfs any high society party seen before. The guests are no longer just local rich folks, but Wall Street giants, European nobility, and heirs of incredibly powerful clans. Now watch closely as Yi Xuan's sleek black hongxi stops at the red carpet. A storm of camera flashes erupts. Yi Xuan steps out alongside Chen Yunshu, who is wearing a stunning gown so gorgeous it takes everyone's breath away. The dress is crafted by Yixuan himself using system materials, shimmers brilliantly like a starry night sky with every step. It looks like she is wearing a swirling galaxy, instantly outshining even the actual Hollywood celebrities attending the event. High society whispers in absolute shock. Did that young guy really design the 6th-generation engine entirely on his own? How did he dare provoke the Rothschilds and the Luce? This party seems like a death trap tailored just for him. Quiet whispers quickly fill the air, but Yixuan does not care even a single bit about their opinions. With total poise, he guides Qian Yunshu into the grand main hall, lavishly decorated with brilliant, glittering gold finishes. Standing out in the center is a massive display platform, completely covered beneath a thick, heavy red sheet of cloth. It is heavily guarded by armed foreign bodyguards, holding the final auction item. Suddenly, a cold voice cuts right through. I know what you are thinking. This feels shady. A man in traditional robes approaches, with a furious Lu Jun right behind. Beside him is Henry, whom Yixuan had just sent running in humiliation, accompanied by a key figure of their clan. It is Lu Jun's uncle, the cunning Lu Chengwan, known in the underworld by his terrifying nickname, the Smiling Tiger. Lu Chengyuan fake smiles and says, I heard you took great care of my useless nephew during his visit to Jiangcheng. Yixuan calmly replies, calling it taking care of him is too kind. Let's just say I wanted to help him. I taught him how to be a decent person after wrecking his car. Lu snaps, but is stopped before attacking. Lu Chengyuan warns being a cocky youngster is fun, but there are precious things that mere words can never protect. Pointing to the stage, he adds this auction was set up just for you. I hope your wallet matches your big mouth. After sharing a smug laugh, the three turn around and walk confidently toward the exclusive, very important person area. Qian Yunshu senses something is terribly wrong, but Yixuan's eyes turn ice cold at the obvious, blatant provocation. They will not get a single cent from me tonight. After a lengthy opening speech, the auction finally begins. The first 23 items consist mostly of expensive imperial jewelry and beautiful scrolls of traditional calligraphic art. Despite the massive value of these treasures, Yixuan remains completely unmoved, waiting patiently for his rival's actual move. Finally, Henry steps up onto the stage with a smug grin, completely desperate for revenge against the young tycoon. Staring directly at Yixuan, he proudly announces tonight's absolute final lot is an invaluable national treasure. It is a relic of the Jie kingdom lost for over 100 years. Then he dramatically pulls the red cloth. A collective gasp of shock echoes through the room upon seeing a majestic bronze piece partially covered in dirt. It is the legendary dragon head, one of the 12 zodiac bronze sculptures from the ancient, ruined summer palace. This priceless artifact had been missing without a single trace, hidden away from the world, until this very moment. Henry sneers with malice. It is war loot, our family legally acquired during the conflicts of the past century. And that is where we leave it, a bold humiliation, launching a massive financial war you and I cannot miss. The starting bid is $1 billion, and every single counteroffer must increase by at least 100 million. Trust me, you need to watch this. Henry provokes Yushuan, challenging him to prove his legendary patriotism. Time to prove it, because if he refuses to buy, this national treasure becomes a foreign museum's trophy of war, an eternal symbol of foreign dominance over the East. Hearing this, the local businessmen below explode in absolute rage. It is absolute highway robbery, a shameless humiliation for everyone. But that astronomical price tag is simply impossible to pay. Every eye in the room locks onto Ye Xuan. If he bids, he falls straight into their deadly trap. But if he backs down, he watches a national treasure get publicly humiliated, destroying his entire reputation in seconds. Beside him, Lu Shengye sneers with pure contempt, mocking him and asking what happened to his legendary bottomless wallet. Where is your pride now? You are just a coward. But Yishuan calmly stands up and buttons his jacket. His icy gaze locks onto Henry up on the stage. $1 billion. Yishuan slowly raises his paddle. I bid $10 billion. The entire room falls completely silent at this madness. Even Henry freezes in shock. He only wanted to scam him for 2 or 3 billion. He never imagined Yishuan would 10 times the bid. Don't blink now. Shin Yunshu grabs his sleeve in sheer panic, whispering that this is a blatant trap. It is just a scheme for those thieves to bleed you dry later. But Yi Xuan gently pats her hand. Do not worry. Whether I pay or not is not up to them. Meanwhile, Henry finally snaps out of it. His heart races with absolute joy. With that massive fortune, he can easily save his family from complete ruin, and rake in massive profits on top. 10 billion going once, 10 billion going twice. Henry slams the gavel down. Desperate. Mr. Yi, wire the funds quickly. We only accept instant wire transfers. It was all a setup the moment Yi Xuan's money entered the international banking system. They would use their high connections to freeze and confiscate the money immediately. A masterclass in pure theft. They would fabricate money laundering charges to keep billions of dollars, to keep both the billions of dollars and the priceless national heirloom. A total robbery. Yi Xuan calmly slides out his black card and hands it over to the staff. The massive screen displays the payment. Everyone holds their breath for this historic transaction. But suddenly, it flickers. It flashes blood red with a stark warning. Transaction failed. Error 404. Bank acquired. Henry turns to stone. What do you mean? Acquired. United Atlantic Bank belongs privately to his own family. Now here is the best part. Yi Xuan just smiles smoothly from below the stage and says, Sorry, Henry. Just 1 minute before the auction started. I used those $10 billion to buy your bank. A complete hostile takeover of Atlantic Bank. Yi Xuan points at the payment terminal with utter contempt. I am just moving money from my left hand to my right, inside my own bank. But for you, former owner, You are under heavy suspicion for financial fraud and embezzlement. Yishuan snaps his fingers with cold confidence. Instantly, the doors burst open and international police swarm the hall, holding a red notice warrant. You are under arrest for market manipulation and massive fraud. Henry screams in absolute terror that this is impossible. Ruined, he watches the agents close in. I am from an elite family. I have immunity. Mr. Liu, please help me. He searches desperately for Liu Shengye, but his face is already as pale as a walking corpse. He sits frozen in his chair, not daring to move a single finger as multiple red laser dots target him, aimed straight at his forehead. Courtesy of the Ghost Legion snipers, Yi Xuan makes a casual gesture. They drag Henry out like a stray dog. Yi Xuan steps onto the stage and claims the prize. He lifts the heavy bronze head with a single hand, hoisting his victory high before the entire crowd. The foreign investors stare with their mouths wide open. His voice roars out like a clap of thunder. From today, the game has changed. I am reclaiming everything that belongs to us, piece by piece, whether by buying it back or by absolute force. Below, deafening applause erupts like a tidal wave. Countless patriotic business leaders weep with emotion, finally breaking free from years of accumulated humiliation. Shen Yunshu gazes up at the young man on stage, wrapped in an imposing aura of absolute authority, swelling with pride. She knows this extraordinary man is hers, capable of bending the entire world to his will, while everyone cheers. Stick with me to find out what happens now that the system announces mission accomplished. Get ready, because you and I are about to watch the old financial empires crumble. System update, starting now. The Dimensional Sovereign unlocks a brand new feature. The multi-dimensional shop is no longer limited to basic Earth technology. Level 1 cosmic technology unlocked. Antimatter energy and dimensional folding are finally ready. Within a 100-meter radius, you have total power to rewrite physics, like doubling gravity or freezing time for 1 second. It is time to start the final mission and shock these wealthy tycoons. Yi Xuan studies these new features as a golden glow ignites his eyes, making the very air vibrate with power. The overwhelming energy of the Dimensional Sovereign is plain to see. Right then, Lu Chengyuan suddenly stands up. He glares at Ye Xuan without a single trace of fear. Instead, a creepy grin spreads across his face. Yi Xuan, you really are something else. Lu Chengyuan claps slowly as he approaches. Seems the rumors were true. You carry that massive secret. At first, my Lu family planned to spare you just to use you as a gold mine. But now you have grown too powerful to control. Suddenly, Lu Chengyuan pulls a small black remote from his pocket. Pay close attention here, because this entire luxury cruise ship is rigged with 3 whole tons of deadly explosives. With just one press of a button, everything you own, your fortune and secret tech, blows to pieces. Yi Xuan, hand over your system right now, or I will make every billionaire here and your girlfriend die with you. The joyful cheers die out instantly. Sheng Yuanqi turns pale. shouting that Lu Chengyuan has completely lost his mind. There are hundreds of innocent people on board. Innocence. Lu Chengyuan laughs like a madman, dismissing their lives entirely. If I can steal that tycoon system, I do not care about a few hundred lives, or even thousands dying. Even 10,000 deaths are worth it. Get on your knees and unlink that system right now. Lu Chengyuan's finger is already hovering over the red button, but Yishuan just stares at him like a clown. Time stop. Yishuan whispers, activating his supreme domain. Time freezes for a single second, and everything loses color. The world turns black and white. Droplets of spit in the air. Terrified faces. The ocean waves. Even that finger trying to press the button. Everything freezes. In this split second, Yishuan walks forward. He moves with total ease, as if strolling through his own garden. Walking slowly toward Lu Chengyuan, he effortlessly slides the remote out of his hands. Then raising his arm, he delivers a brutal, heavy slap. Just when we thought everything was lost, watch this. Time resumes, and that remote is completely gone. Suddenly, an agonizing pain explodes across his cheek. His entire body goes flying, spinning through the air. He spins 3 times, spitting out blood and several broken teeth. Lu Chengyuan clutches his face, shaking with pure terror. A few meters away, Yishuan casually plays with the remote. Are you human or a demon? How did you do that? Did you teleport? Yishuan simply crushes the device into dust, letting the shattered pieces fall to the ground. I already warned you. In this space, I am God. Yishuan takes a step forward and stands over him. He looks down in disgust at the proud second heir of the Lu family. Time to finish you off. This ship will not sink today. But the Lu Empire is completely finished. The party goes on, but the next act is a trial for high treason and conspiracy. Plus, the evidence of these explosives will trap them with no way out. Throw him into the ocean to feed the fish. You would not dare. I am a Lu. My older brother is. A loud splash drowns out his desperate screams. The freezing, deep, dark water completely swallows the coward whole. Just as cold as Yishuan's eyes as he looks north. The Lu family's very last resort has utterly failed. It is time to march to the capital and collect the biggest debt of his life. Sheng Yuanqi approaches and holds his hand tightly, though she is trembling. Her eyes show unshakable determination. I will go anywhere with you, Yishuan. He squeezes her hand and looks at the dragon seal, the symbol of absolute power. We are not just seeking justice, but a brand new era that will belong entirely to us. Autumn in the capital feels extremely freezing, silent and gloomy. The ancient Lu family mansion dominates the western hill, a fortress that survived the fall of 3 whole dynasties, surviving countless power struggles, standing tall like an invincible giant that nobody ever dares to challenge. But today, an unseen terror wraps around the mansion as thick, dark clouds completely cover up the sky. You and I can feel that heavy tension inside the main hall. The air is so thick it is hard to breathe. The current head of the Lu family, the old patriarch Lu Jun, who once shook the capital with a single step. You and I are about to watch this leader freeze as his prized metal spheres are turned to dust, literally reduced to fine powder. Right in front of him, a desperate Lu Jiyaha was on his knees, begging on the floor, completely defeated. Along the sides of the great hall, 7 seated elders released a crushing spiritual pressure that dominated the room. Their veins pulsed with pure rage. These men are the pillars of the Lu family, the 8 great generals, all terrifying combat masters, experts in ancient martial arts, shaking uncontrollably. Lu Jiahao stuttered that his Sid uncle was thrown into the river to feed the fish. He just couldn't contain his fear. Suddenly, Lu Jun slammed his cane down in anger, calling him a useless coward. You only boost the enemy's confidence and destroy our own morale. The patriarch stood up slowly, well past his 80 years of age. But his battlefield bloodlust was so terrifying that nobody dared to look at him. Sorcery. There is no magic in this world. Only advanced technology we do not understand yet, the old man declared, scanning the hall with a sharp hawk-like gaze. Our Lu family has ruled this capital city for centuries. No storm has ever been able to tear us down. We have survived every single catastrophe, even when the alliance of 8 nations attacked us. Nobody managed to wipe us out. Now pay attention here, because this old man's rage is about to unleash absolute chaos. Where do they get the nerve? Lu Jun slammed his cane with such violence that the marble floor instantly cracked into 1,000,000 pieces. Activate the Skynet defense system right now. That military technology we bought from the Blackwater Corporation for a fortune. It cost us over $20 billion. An air defense laser system so advanced that even fast missiles can be intercepted with total ease. Listen to my orders. Guard the inner courtyard. And if that Baptist dares to cross our main gate, kill him without mercy. Do not let him breathe. A look of absolute madness flashed in the patriarch's eyes. Release that creature from the Forbidden Valley area. If he wants to play with the supernatural, I will show him what a real monster looks like. Hearing about that forbidden beast, the 8 terrifying grandmasters in the room instantly turned pale, their faces filled with an absolute terror that they simply could not hide in any way. It was pure panic. Just then, a deafening, deep roar rumbled from the sky, shattering the calm of the clouds. But this roar did not sound natural. It was like a colossal engine tearing the atmosphere apart, causing a massive sonic boom. Everyone in the ancestral Lu mansion ran terrified out of the main hall, instinctively looking up at the sky. You and I should get ready, because looking up, their eyes shrunk in absolute terror at what appeared in the sky. The dark clouds seemed torn apart by an invisible beast, opening an abyss from which a massive flying ship emerged. A dark colossus shaped like a sharp sword floated in absolute silence, completely blocking out the warm sunlight. Its giant shadow crushed everyone's spirits. With no visible propellers or engines, it completely defied all laws of physics. This was an interdimensional system ship, the Celestial Battleship, a relic capable of subjugating any civilization on Earth. Even though it was a lower-powered civilian model, its basic technology easily surpassed any defense on this planet. What on earth is that? Lu Jun fell to his knees on the ground, so terrified he actually wet himself from fear. Is that Yishuan's ship? That bastard must be an alien. The old man screamed, his hands shaking in wild panic, struggling to stand. He desperately screamed into his radio transmitter, commanding the air defense unit to fire right now. Shoot that thing down. Instantly, the mansion gardens opened up, revealing 4 colossal, futuristic laser cannons, alongside 6 anti-aircraft missile platforms. Thruster fire lit up the sky with a terrifyingly destructive intensity. 6 heat-seeking missiles soared upward, leaving white smoke trails, heading straight toward the massive floating battleship. Seconds later, powerful laser beams slammed into the enemy ship's hull. This was their ultimate trump card. A brutal attack capable of vaporizing an entire modern army in seconds. But faced with this apocalyptic level of destruction, the mysterious dark ship did not even bother to activate a defensive shield. Only its bow began to glow with a faint blue light. The system activated its physics override mode, neutralizing the incoming enemy energy in an incredible way. The 6 missiles flying at Mach 3, once they were barely 100 meters away from the flying ship, suddenly shut down like wet fireworks. Their velocity instantly plummeted straight to absolute zero in just a second. They dropped from the sky like useless scrap metal, crashing right into the mansion's luxurious ponds and gardens. The resulting explosions completely annihilated the Liu family's own defenses, consuming the entire area in a single second, and the 4 laser beams bounced off as if hitting a mirror, reflecting directly back to their source. Melted by their own energy, the cannons turned to scrap. And trust me, you and I are just getting started. Come with me as we watch a $10 billion defense system turn to rubble in a single second. Everything was shattered as the smoke cleared. The great Liu family mansion was nothing but a chaotic pile of debris. Walls crumbled amidst the painful screams of wounded guards. Meanwhile, Lu Chun stood there, completely frozen in shock. He stood at the entrance, his face covered in ash, staring blankly. His beloved Skynet defense system was completely gone. Suddenly, the aircraft hatch flew open, and 2 figures leaped out from 1,000 meters high. No parachutes, no wingsuits, just a total freefall. They are insane. This is absolute suicide, screamed a Liu family member in terror. But just 10 meters from the ground, the brutal momentum of their fall instantly shifted direction, completely defying gravity. Both landed with unbelievable softness, without kicking up, even a single speck of dust. It was Yeshuan and Chen Yunshu. He wore his classic dark coat over a simple suit. She wore a tight white battle suit, holding a box containing a bronze dragon head in her hands. The 2 stood together amidst the mansion ruins, looking like divine beings descending upon the mortal world. What a pleasure to meet you in person, old Liu. Yixuan stared at the elderly Lu Jun, who suddenly seemed to have aged 10 years instantly. Now, pay attention to Yixuan's reaction. He actually calls this explosion a fun welcome gift. Lu Jun pointed at him furiously, nearly choking on his own rage. Yixuan, you are in the nation's capital. We are under the emperor's direct rule. How dare you use heavy weapons against civilians so shamelessly? This is pure treason. Attack! Yixuan let out a mocking laugh. Old Lu, are you losing your eyesight in your old age? Clearly, your family was illegally hoarding forbidden weapons, and a simple control error made it blow up in your faces. I am just a good citizen here to put out the fire. Yixuan snapped his fingers. Longya, send the video to the National Security Bureau. Understood. Longya replied from above. The ship's holographic system had recorded everything clearly. It showed the Lu clan firing first, and how their own missiles ended up turning back on them. Yixuan did not even have to lift a finger to defend himself. Lu Jun trembled with pure rage. Compared to what your clan did to my people, I have been far too merciful. Yixuan's gaze turned ice cold as he advanced. Lu Jun roared like a madman. You 7. Kill this bastard right now. The 7 martial arts masters standing guard looked at each other. Though Ye Xuan's entrance was terrifying, their immense pride as warriors kept them from backing down. They did not believe an invincible man existed. Do not get cocky. Kid, taste the power of my iron palm. A muscular elder roared, shattering the ground beneath his feet as he launched himself at Ye Xuan like a missile. His hands, dark as steel and surging with energy, aimed right for his head. That strike could easily crush solid rock. But Yixuan did not. 100 times gravity. He whispered. You and I need to watch what happens next. The master, still flying through the air, suddenly felt an invisible mountain crushing down on his entire body. Unable to resist, his body was slammed into the ground with brutal violence, leaving him completely flattened. His knees instantly shattered into pieces. The ground caved in, creating a deep crater where his broken body lay. He looked like a sticker pasted to the bottom of the pit before passing out. A deathly silence instantly fell. The other masters watched in absolute terror, frozen by the scene, subduing a top warrior with just a single word. What kind of godlike power is this? Anyone else want to try? Yixuan asked, staring them down coldly, as if they were in a morgue. The warriors looked at each other in terror and began slowly backing away. Then they turned and fled in sheer panic. No joke, they knew this monster was no ordinary human opponent. They realized their lives were worth way more than Lu family money. Lu Jun was left completely alone and ruined. Watching them run, Lu Jun's fury almost gave him a stroke. Meanwhile, Yixuan was already at the stairs. He did not go up yet. Instead, he signaled Chen Yunshu. Yunshu, bring it here. She stepped forward firmly, placed the box on the ground, and opened it. Inside lay a massive bronze dragon head with judging eyes. Yixuan said, his voice ice cold. This relic is what your clan used to conspire with outsiders to humiliate our own people. But now I have taken it back, and I did not come to bring you gifts. I came to teach you a lesson that you will never forget. Yi Xuan took another firm step forward. Lu Jun, the dragon is meant to be revered, not sold. Lu Jun stood frozen, staring at the mythical head. And trust me, as Lu Jun spirals into absolute madness, you and I are about to see how this ends. Get ready, because you and I are about to see the most brutal revenge ever, with Lu Jun screaming. Do you think you won, Ye Chuan? Do you think your high tech solves everything? You know nothing about the real face of this world. Suddenly he pulls a strange object from his clothes, a black bone whistle covered in mystical runes. He blows it with all his might. The sharp, deafening whistle echoes across the entire valley. Instantly, the ground begins to shake with an absolutely massive force. A foul stench of blood floods the forbidden zone of the valley. Then a wild, beastly roar echoes, sounding completely non-human. The sound shakes the heavens and the tall walls completely collapse. A giant beast, standing over 3 meters tall, suddenly appears. Its body is covered in black scales, with eyes red as blood. It charges forward like a tank, destroying everything in its path. Wherever it goes, plants instantly wither away. Even the stone tiles on the ground corrode from its terrifying presence. Qin Yunshu's face turns pale. Open your eyes. Lu Jun screams, laughing like an absolute maniac. This is Tyrant, the ultimate weapon given to me by the Association, created using ancient creature genes and a mutant virus. It is the perfect genetic fusion. This beast will never feel pain, possesses unstoppable strength, and its body is a death trap. Its entire body leaks a lethal poison capable of wiping out all life. The monster roars loudly, locking its murderous gaze directly onto Ye Chuan. Suddenly, the massive beast leaps into the air, ready to tear everything apart with its razor-sharp claws. It lunges straight for our main character's face, but coming eye to eye with this biological abomination, Yi Chuan's expression is. Pay attention here, there is no fear in his eyes, only pure disgust. Is this all? Is this what you call your trump card? The boy shakes his head in disappointment. Claws almost graze the tip of his nose. Suddenly, Yi Chuan raises his right arm without releasing any destructive energy. Just a simple blade of light appearing in his hand. Wait, it is not an ordinary light sword. It is a high-frequency particle blade. A clean and silent cut occurs. With a fluid movement of his arm, he draws a perfect arc. Time seems to freeze as Tyrant's massive body flies right over him, crashing heavily onto the ground. There is no massive explosion or guts flying everywhere. Only an ultra-thin red line remains on the monster's waist. A second later, this unbeatable, feared killing machine begins splitting into 2 perfect halves. The cut is so smooth, it looks like a mirror, showing its charred inner organs. The weapon's extreme heat instantly burned everything, sealing the wound immediately so absolutely nothing would leak out. Not a single drop of blood fell. A clean one-shot kill. Seeing this, the laughter of Lu Jun completely dies out. His jaw drops in sheer disbelief as he stares at the two pieces of his creation. The monster still twitches on the ground. His entire reality has crumbled. That was the beast they invested. $1 billion to create. It survived missiles. But you and I just watched him slice it like butter. Yi Chuan simply puts away his weapon and calmly wipes his hands, as if ending that threat was no big deal. He walks straight to Lu Jun, who now trembles on his knees. Disdainfully, he kicks away his golden dragon-headed cane. Goodbye to the symbol of his family's great power. Do you have anything left? Yi Chuan asks, leaning down in absolute scorn. His old eyes only reflect panic. If you are out of tricks, it is time to pay for the past. Your family conspired with the Wu to slander my father and drive him to his death, all to steal our tech. How do we settle this? Plus, you just ordered a missile strike to silence me. How do we resolve this matter? Lu Jun trembles uncontrollably and stammers. I will give you everything. My family's entire massive fortune will be yours. I swear. Trillions of dollars all for you. Please have mercy on this poor old man. Money, Ye Chuan mockingly sneers. Insolent old man. I think you forget something very important. Right now, the last thing I need is money. Our main character stands up and looks to the sky. At that moment, the spaceship projects a colossal hologram downward. The giant screen displays detailed proof of all their crimes, from his family's illegal sale of national secrets, to money laundering accounts and compromising audio ordering murders. There are even security recordings of Lu Jun himself, sending the military strike moments ago. At the same time, all public screens and billboards in the city, as well as phones and computers, are forcibly hacked to broadcast this massive pile of criminal evidence live. The whole city panics, and the nation shakes at such a revelation. No, this cannot be happening. Lu Jun screams in despair, unable to look away from the screens. He knows perfectly well this is the absolute end. The abyss of despair consumes him. His family name will be stained forever with the greatest dishonor in history. An eternal humiliation worse than death itself. And that is how you and I watch a corrupt empire truly crumble. Come along with me to watch this epic moment where Yi Chuan tells Lu Jun his proud 100-year legacy is about to crash down. That century of pride will drown in the utter contempt of the entire world, turning to ashes in an instant. Then suddenly, the deafening echo of police sirens wailed in the distance. But this time, it was not the usual corrupt officers, but a direct order from the highest level. Heavily armed special forces and a military tribunal swarmed the scene. You are under arrest on suspicion of treason and crimes against humanity. They coldly announced while locking him down. Cold steel handcuffs snapped around the wrists of Lu Jun, the terrifying tyrant who ruled this city for decades. He finally had to bow his arrogant head. As they shoved him into the squad car, he glared back at Ye Chuan, lounging on the massive throne that once symbolized his own absolute power, calmly holding his love, Xin Yunxi, twirling his dragon ring while raising a glass of wine to mock him. the absolute picture of a winner. It was the complete end of a golden era. The Liu clan had fallen, utterly destroyed right down to its foundations. Every single key member fell with them, triggering a massive purge of their allies that unleashed unprecedented chaos. Pay close attention right here, because in just one single night, all power shifted, and Yi Xuan became the most feared man. No one dared to cross him. Later that night, the ruined Liu estate became the temporary refuge for none other than Yi Xuan. He quietly stared out at the massive, glowing city lights from the edge of a steep mountain cliff. Xin Yunxi gently draped a coat over his shoulders, softly asking if he was not happy now that he had his revenge. Yi Xuan shook his head while squeezing her hand. This is not over yet. That old monster was just a pawn. A mere puppet controlled by the Western Freemasons. Then, Yi Xuan reached into his pocket to pull out a strange object. It was a pitch-black flute carved from bone, taken from Liu Jun. His expression instantly turned dead serious. This thing does not belong on our planet. It was carved from the remains of a higher being and radiates a bizarre energy. Even my system cannot fully analyze it. But it just warned me that our world's cosmic coordinates have been exposed. Xin Yunxi turned pale with fear and asked to whom. Yi Xuan stared up at the endless, starry sky, toward the true hunters of the universe. Suddenly, a piercing, painful alarm began ringing inside his head. Maximum alert. A dimensional barrier collapse has been detected, along with an enemy invasion in the Central Pacific Ocean. They want to seize the world core and the system host. Yi Xuan took a deep breath, his eyes glowing gold. I know what you and I are thinking. There is zero time to rest. He crushes the flute and summons his shadows. Activate the celestial ship weapons. We are heading to the Pacific to give these uninvited guests an unforgettable welcome. We have to greet them properly. Meanwhile, at Point Nemo in the Pacific, the most isolated spot on the planet, this remote, inaccessible zone is famous as a spacecraft graveyard. But today, everything is about to change. This sea of death began to boil violently. At 10,000 meters high up above the thick clouds, an imposing black ship hovered, perfectly camouflaged. Inside, Yi Xuan stared intensely at the touch control screens. He analyzed the holographic map alongside Xin Yunxi, who was wearing a skin-tight nanotech tactical suit, even though she already knew his immense power. The data flashing across the screens left her completely frozen. She got goosebumps all over, wondering if that massive cluster below was an entire city as she watched the thermal signals. 3,000 meters beneath the dark ocean waves, a colossal, mysterious structure loomed right below them. Giant pyramids radiated a terrifying green glow, surrounded by hundreds of hostile submarines and combat drones ready to strike. They swarmed restlessly like ants in a nest. This hidden underwater base was the true headquarters of the Freemasons, the legendary fortress of Atlantis, buried deep within the abyss. Yi Xuan stared down, golden light flashing in his eyes. The scan revealed that their central energy core was generating a highly dangerous dimensional resonance deep on the ocean floor. They are summoning something extremely dangerous. That tyrant was just a watchdog. But now the real owner is coming. The supreme leader of the abyss is approaching. Suddenly, his subordinate's voice crackled directly through the communicator. Boss, they found us and activated their defenses. Before he could even finish his sentence, the ocean shook violently. Colossal metal columns 10 meters wide emerged from the water, launching straight up toward the clear blue sky. Suddenly, high-energy laser beams pierced the clouds, forming a massive glowing web of total and absolute destruction. A deadly, inescapable trap that locked its targeting systems directly onto our main character's cloaked flagship. And just like that, you and I are left on the edge while alarms scream danger. The real space battle begins. All right. You and I are jumping right into the chaos as sirens blare. Show your face. He smirks. Since they want a space war, let's show them what a real dimensional strike actually looks like. The one-time orbital weapon is fully charged. Yi Chuan raises his hand, aiming straight into the empty void. Looking at the distant sea, he whispers, "Let there be light." 30,000 kilometers above, something massive wakes up. A disguised weather satellite, actually Yi Chuan's colossal kinetic energy weapon platform, suddenly powers online, locking onto the target. The railgun fires 6-meter-long super-dense tungsten rods at absolutely lethal speeds, screaming down at a terrifying Mach 20. They tear the entire atmosphere apart in a split second. Intense friction turns those rods into blazing suns falling from the heavens. In just a few short seconds, the 12 metal pillars shooting death beams in the Pacific are struck, completely vaporizing everything within 10 kilometers. Watch closely. Here, this absolute pillar of divine light is about to wipe everything out. A deafening explosion echoes for thousands of miles, shattering eardrums. The massive shockwave unleashes total, chaotic destruction. Tsunamis hundreds of meters high crash violently across the sea, while the hidden fortress of Atlantis trembles deep below. Its energy shield flickers like a weak candle in a storm. Deep inside the undersea base's main hall, a majestic temple, guarded by stone totems carved with the terrifying visages of 12 ancient, faceless gods. 12 figures in crimson robes and gold masks gather around a table, the supreme leaders of the secret Masonic society. These shadow rulers control global finance, orchestrate endless wars, and spread deadly plagues just to line their own pockets. Now they watch in absolute horror as the ceiling crumbles above them, tasting real panic for the first time. That is divine wrath, screams one terrified elder. Wasn't that weapon just a myth? How could Yi Chuan have it? Speed up the ritual. The Grand Master rasps from the head of the table, panic seizing every single one of them. Under his mask, a rotting face with writhing black tentacles appears. Only the beast of the abyss can save us now. Even if we must sacrifice the entire world, we will keep our immortality, whatever it takes. We must live forever. The 12 elders slash their wrists, spilling blood into the dark vortex of the magic circle, fueling this sinister ritual. The portal spins wildly, releasing a repulsive, evil presence that breaks through the temple walls, racing up toward the surface, heading straight into the open sea. High above, Yichuan wrinkles his nose. What is this absolutely foul, rotting smell? I know what you're thinking. And yeah, that toxic power surging below is definitely not from this world. It wants to devour everything. Yun Shu, stay on the ship and activate all defensive shields right now. Yi Chuanshu looks at Chen Yunshu and warns her that this will get ugly. She grips his hand with deep concern. It's too dangerous. But Yi Chuan gently kisses her forehead, steps to the launch bay, and leaps right out, activating the Poseidon system mid-air. Streams of glowing blue nanometal rapidly wrap around his body in free fall, forming an epic, streamlined combat suit. Gripping his golden trident tightly, he's ready to unleash pure fury. With blue ion thrusters blasting fire, he dives straight into the boiling ocean at the speed of a torpedo, hitting the water. The ocean parts before him, recognizing its true king as his speed surges past all limits, ripping through the depths faster than any torpedo. The massive pyramid fortress finally looms before him in the shadows. Surrounding the base are thousands of bioengineered freaks, half-machine shark hybrids, and terrifying deep-sea monsters. Worm-like tentacle creatures swarm him from all sides. But Ye Chuan grips his trident with absolute, cold focus. Time for his absolute zero freeze technique. Instantly, the ocean in a 1,000-meter radius turns to solid ice. The surrounding beasts are instantly frozen solid, not even having enough time to open their horrific jaws, trapped forever like frozen statues. But Ye Chuan's insane power doesn't stop there. He keeps plowing forward. He smashes through the ice sculptures like a violent meteor, slamming straight into the fortress's massive energy barrier. His trident's tip glows with golden antimatter energy, causing their supposedly unbreakable barrier to instantly spiderweb with crack space. The shield pops like a bubble, shattering the outer walls of the temple. Yi Chuan crashes down with devastating force, landing right in the center of the ritual chamber. As the smoke clears, our main character emerges looking absolutely legendary, trident in hand. The shockwave sends the 12 elders flying, leaving them bruised and pathetic on the cold floor. Yi Chuan stomps on the Grand Master's mask, revealing a grotesque face, half human, half mechanical abomination. Why'd you stop praying? Did you forget your lines? Trust me, you and I are just getting to the best part. All right, you and I are about to watch these dark tentacles attack desperately. Yet our main character calmly raises his hand to strike back. He casually pins the Great Elder to the ground as golden energy surges through his trident, burning those nasty tentacles to a crisp, reducing them to ashes amid screams of pure agony. Then, Yi Chuan shoots an ice-cold glare at the remaining 11 elders. Who on earth is this abyss? And why did they bring the enemy home? But one of them just screams that it is already too late. The elder laughs like a lunatic, pointing at the dark black hole in the center of the round table. The dimensional portal has opened. The Soul Lord himself has already detected this place. All of you will die. Sacrifice to feed him your energy right this second. The moment he speaks, the black hole expands with violent, destructive force, swallowing up the entire surrounding space in an instant. Seconds later, it transforms into a colossal pillar of dark light, blasting through the fortress ceiling. Straight up into the clouds, a soul-shaking shockwave ripples across the entire battlefield. Yichuan quickly looks up to see what is going on, and what he sees is as a giant hand covered in scales and bizarre eyes, slowly emerging from that pillar of light. That arm is massive. It is so immense it is hard to believe. Just a single finger is hundreds of meters long. Then a massive nightmare head appears. The face is too hideous for words. It is covered in clusters of tiny eyes, radiating an absolutely terrifying presence. Nasty green acid drops from its mouth. The system red alerts flash like crazy, almost completely blocking Yichuan's field of vision. A level 3 civilization. Our main character takes a deep breath and smiles. Now things are getting fun, even if the beast is not fully out. Now pay attention here, because just by showing its torso, this beast dominates the underwater territory. This power scale is completely absurd. Its countless eyes lock onto Yichuan, unleashing a mental roar that strikes our main character's brain with brutal force. It feels as though 10,000 insects are eating his brain, threatening his sanity. Are you looking for me? The voice echoes. Yichuan raises an eyebrow, amused. What is up? Did you come to pay my debts? Hand over the origin seed or prepare to vanish. The monster roars in pure rage and swings its giant hand to crush him. An attack loaded with the law of space restriction itself. It is an impossible strike to dodge. Yichuan feels the surrounding space freeze, leaving his body completely paralyzed and trapped. He cannot move a single millimeter. Is this the power of a level 3 civilization? It already controls the laws of the universe. Chen Yunxi's terrified scream echoes over the communicator. Keep calm, Yichuan tells himself, closing his eyes and taking a deep breath. I want to buy something. He asks the system. Please state your desire. User. I want to buy the ownership rights to this entire dimension. The system goes dead silent for a second at such madness. Buying ownership of this world dimension requires an absurd amount of points. It requires 100 trillion points. And your current balance is insufficient. Who said I wanted to buy the whole world? He snaps back. I know what you are thinking, buy time. Yes, he opens his eyes, his gaze turning gray, deciding to buy this exact second. The system registers his will, unlocking a special item, the absolute contract of the Son of Dimension for just 10 seconds. Price. All accumulated resources will be reduced to 0. We are talking about losing trillions of hard-earned points in an instant. But Yichuan does not hesitate for a second. Money comes back. But if we lose our lives or this world gets destroyed, it is game over. Transaction successful. Current balance 0. activating Son of Dimension mode for the next 10 seconds. You are the absolute sovereign of the cosmos. A massive, indescribable power blesses Yichuan. The spatial prison keeping him frozen suddenly shatters into 1,000 tiny pieces. Yichuan breaks free. Instead of dodging the giant monster's strike, he charges straight toward it with unbelievable speed. His trident vanishes, replaced by a common, ordinary frying pan. Yes, the divine lucky weapon from the system. Yisixuan roars, swinging the frying pan with brutal force directly against the giant lord of the abyss's finger. The noise is deafening. Boom. What happens next is just mind-blowing. A cosmic being capable of destroying entire planets, a supreme creature of outer space, ends up with a broken finger because of a frying pan. Yes, a level 3 being humiliated in the most ridiculous way possible. The beast howls in agony and total confusion, unable to process this madness. But our main character is only just starting his counterattack. Yichuan teleports in the blink of an eye right in front of the monster's giant eye. This is for everyone you killed, you jerk. The eye explodes, spraying nasty green fluid everywhere. And this next frying pan smash is because you are so ugly. It is disgusting. You completely terrified my beloved Chen Yunxi. The other eye instantly explodes. And this final strike is for leaving me flat broke. Yichuan moves so fast, he looks like a fast-forwarded video. His frying pan leaves infinite afterimages in a matter of milliseconds. He aims straight for the Colossus's face, delivering thousands of merciless strikes. Each impact automatically triggers highly destructive effects. Perfect critical hit, total stun, and absolute armor penetration. The fearsome lord is left completely dizzy and humiliated from this absolute beating. In the end, the monster feels something it forgot eons ago: fear. Is it not beautiful seeing a god fear a frying pan? Go back to your space trash. Yichuan leaps high, charging his massive energy. Trust me, you do not want to miss what comes next. Let's dive right into the action, where a brutal pan smash sends the giant lord of the abyss flying back from the sheer impact of the blow, launching him straight into that deep, dark vortex in the most pathetic way possible. The monster roared in pain and fury, falling helplessly toward the bottom of the abyss before that dark portal could close entirely. But look at this. Yichuan pulled a flat piece of paper out of his pocket, bought from the system shop. A simple sheet with a funny little doodle on it. A gift so you do not get bored down there, he muttered while tossing the paper casually into the deep void. Suddenly, the vortex began to close up violently under the influence of that strange paper, crushing the space around it. The portal to the abyss transformed into a basic painting in a split second. It was an oil canvas drifting in the empty void, showing the absolute terror on that ugly monster's face. Once again, dead silence took over. The Earth's sun mode expired, congratulating the user for unlocking the achievement of God Hunter. His current balance was 0. Yichuan drifted there among the ruins of the deep ocean while looking at the chaos all around him and the remains of the 12 elders. ripped apart by the massive shockwave. He patted his empty pockets. Not a single coin was left. Not even enough for a taxi ride back to Zhangcheng. Being this reckless is way too expensive. Yishuan sighed deeply. Right then, a submarine slowly made its way toward him, carrying Chen Yunshu, who came down in the Heaven's Punishment airship escape pod. As the hatch swung open, she swam straight toward him and hugged him tightly. We won, she whispered. Yishuan smiled bitterly. I have some bad news. What is it? She asked anxiously. I am totally broke. Nothing left. Trust me, our main character is officially on the streets now. She froze for a brief second before burst into laughter. She cupped Yishuan's face under water and kissed him gently. It is fine. You used to take care of me. Now it is my turn to spoil you. Do not forget. I run the powerful Shin Group and Atlantis Bank. Yishuan grinned. Well, I guess I will just have to let you spoil me from now on. The two of them rose to the surface, seeing the sunlight after so long. The storm over the Pacific was gone, but he knew very well that this was only a brief pause. The final words of that beast and the clues about the seed of origin pointed to a much larger mystery. What is the system? Really, you and I both know there is a reason those outer beings want it. System alert. Phase 2 complete. The final quest to uncover the true origin of this power has now been unlocked. Please head to Kunlun Death Valley, where the previous user lies. Yishuan stared at the virtual screen, in utter disbelief. The previous user. This meant his journey was not just about getting his wealthy old life back, but a cosmic game of chess spanning over 10,000 years. Yunshu, it is time for us to go. Back home and pack up. Looking at the distant horizon. He knew they had to reach their final destination and dig up the truth. Death Valley in the Kunlun Mountains, a place known as the Gate of Hell, constantly battered by relentless lightning storms and extreme magnetic anomalies. For centuries, countless travelers and herders walked in here, never to return, leaving only their forgotten bones behind. But today, the sky roars with a destructive fury unlike any storm before. Dark violet lightning struck the valley's snow with intense violence, while a massive black aircraft shaped like a giant sword pushed forward, unfazed by bolts that could easily vaporize an armored tank. It was like a mighty flying fortress, descending slowly into the abyss. As the ship's hatch slid open, a gust of freezing wind blew violently into the cabin. Yishuan took Chen Yunshu's hand, and together they stepped outside, wearing only simple black coats. Instead of their heavy armor, their eyes showed a cold determination deeper than the eternal snow of those mountains. Is this really the end of our road? She asked, shivering as she saw the endless animal bones scattered all over the ground. It is the end, but also a fresh start, he replied, checking the screen of his device. The blinking light showing the location of the seed glowed bright red. It was sitting directly beneath their feet. Time to make a move. The Shadow Army, standing ready for orders, started up two massive laser-powered drilling rigs. aiming straight at the rocks of the canyon floor. As the drilling began, the stone started melting from the heat. An incredible secret started unfolding right before them. This was no ordinary rock wall, but a giant warship made of solid bronze, buried deep underground for thousands of years. Its massive structure was carved with ancient storm clouds. On the bow, a terrifying bronze dragon head glared back at them, standing completely untouched by the passage of time. It still released a heavy, imperial pressure that made it hard to breathe. Could the myths about Emperor Qin, Shi Huang, be real? Join me to find out as he holds his lover's hand and leaps into the deep void without hesitation. Come along with me as we step into the ancestral ship of the first emperor, and trust me, it is anything but dark. The moment Yi Xuan steps into the control room, thousands of eternal lights, which are actually lamps powered by cold nuclear fusion, ignite on their own. Right in the center, a majestic black gold throne stands out, and sitting right there, a skeleton in black dragon robes remains upright. Even though only bones are left, he still grips his sword, staring straight at the heavens. His ruthless aura remains completely untouched, even though over 2,000 years have passed, making you want to kneel. In front of him, a glowing crystal floats. It was the seed of origin. Was this your previous host? Yi Xuan asks quietly. Yes, the system replies. Its cold voice sounding painfully human for once. He was the host named Ying Zheng, the first emperor. System version 1.0. He died stopping the first alien invasion, spending every single one of his system points. He consumed his own life force to activate the provincial barrier and the Great Wall orbital defense network, until his body collapsed from sheer exhaustion. A wave of deep respect instantly fills Yi Xuan's heart. So the Great Wall was never meant for the Zongnu, it was built to fight off hunters from deep space. Now pay close attention, because right here, the seed begins to vibrate and projects a hologram. It shows a middle-aged man, imposing and majestic. Although it is just a projection, his eyes seem to pierce right through time and space. Ying Zheng's booming voice echoes with ancient, raw authority. When you watch this recording, I will already be gone. I united the 6 nations under one empire. I standardized our writing and trade routes, believing it would bring eternal peace to our homeland. But I discovered far worse threats. The greedy hunters of the abyss had their eyes on Earth. I used all our resources to build 12 giant golden colossi and the Great Wall defense cannon. We managed to repel them temporarily, but I knew they would attack our planet again sooner or later. That is why I left this seed of origin, engraving within it the grand dream I could not finish, and sealing my final legacy. If you truly cherish this world, fuse with it and protect our home. The projection fades away, leaving Yi Xuan standing in complete silence, deeply lost in his own thoughts. Then he takes a step forward, grabs the seed of origin, and whispers, "Rest in peace, ancestor." With a resolute gaze, he vows to finish this war, and the wealth his ancestor left behind. He will spend it. Instantly, the seed merges into his hand, and a massive torrent of information floods his mind. He receives the Emperor's memories, ancient technology blueprints, and access codes for the entire planetary defense grid. Fusion complete. The billionaire system has upgraded and successfully activated the planetary administrator mode. Congratulations. You inherited the first emperor's legacy. Your current balance can no longer be measured in numbers. Let that sink in for a second. This guy now holds the entire destiny of his nation. While the fusion completes, the sky above the Kunlun Mountains suddenly shatters into pieces. This is no tiny crack anymore. The entire skies is dyed in a terrifying blood-red color. Countless giant black ships pour out of the rift like locusts. It is the Zor civilization army. They targeted Earth and launched an all-out assault. Warning: a planet-destroying threat has been detected. 100,000 enemy warships approaching. Estimated time to destruction: 10 minutes. Chen Yunqiu looks at her device and turns completely pale. Yi Xuan, can we actually stop them? There are 100,000 warships. Yi Xuan slowly opens his eyes, revealing glowing golden pupils that radiate absolute divine authority. This is the administrator's absolute power. He checks his empty bank account, then glances at the system screen. His newly inherited account shines with brilliant gold. The young man lets out a laugh of pure, arrogant confidence. What are we waiting for? If my ancestor left me this, I will spend it like the ultimate spendthrift. He grabs Chen's hand and walks out of the temple, facing the massive alien fleet blotting out the sky. He points to the clouds and snaps his fingers. System I want to spend. Please specify your request, host. I want to buy this entire era. Wake up the 12 golden colossi and activate the planetary defense grid. Summon the cursed shadow army. Payment method: 5,000 years of national destiny. Transaction successful. And get ready, because you and I are about to watch the entire planet shake with insane force. Stick with me here, because this ancient tomb suddenly explodes, and those thousands of terracotta warriors are definitely not just clay statues. Their clay skin cracks and sheds in an instant, revealing the cold metallic gleam of bodies made from pure nanotechnology. Their eyes glow with a fierce red light, and the bronze swords in their hands explode with energy, unleashing a deafening battle roar. Like a dragon roaring, millions of mechanical soldiers launch into the sky, while colossal robots rise from the ancient ruins of Xianyang. 12 bronze colossi, 1,000 meters tall, rise from the underground, each radiating an energy force as brutal as a nuclear power plant. They brandish massive halberds like awakening ancient demon gods. But what happens next will leave you completely breathless. The Great Wall itself, stretching for thousands of kilometers, begins to glow with brilliant gold as its stone structure crumbles down, to reveal what lay hidden beneath. Colossal electromagnetic raygun guns that had been buried in absolute secrecy for more than 2,000 years. And here is the best part. Just look at the alien commander's face when the planet suddenly comes alive. He is so terrified that he freezes completely on the spot. Who gave you permission to covet our beloved earth? The powerful voice of Yi Xuan, amplified by the origin seed, echoes across the globe and rumbles directly inside the minds of every cosmic invader. With a simple wave of his hand, he orders the strike, transforming his dragon into a colossal golden beast. Countless antimatter beams slash across the heavens, and in a single blink, the alien vanguard is completely reduced to ashes. The 12 golden titans soar through the clouds, and with every swing of their weapons, they shatter 1,000-meter-long alien motherships. Millions of mechanical soldiers surge forward like a dark tide over the enemy, unleashing a brutal, chaotic close-quarters battle. Now watch closely, because this bloody clash transcends space and time, the furious roar of all humanity fighting back against their invaders. Yi Xuan watches the entire show from the peak of Kunlun Mountain, taking in these incredibly brilliant cosmic fireworks. It is beautiful, isn't it, Yunshu? He asks. She stares at the scene, completely hypnotized, her eyes filling with emotional tears. It is gorgeous, the most expensive show I will ever see, she replies. But he just smiles, telling her this is only the beginning. Staring up at the enemy's most colossal mothership, Yi Xuan raises his hand, determined to end this war once and for all. He activates the ultimate payment system to purchase a planetary upgrade, elevating Earth to a level 4 cosmic civilization. He transfers his entire net worth to confirm the purchase. Earth's destiny, the planetary engine, and quantum shield are charging right now. The world's evolution begins. And suddenly, a massive white glow, so blinding it, lights up the entire galaxy, erupts from the Earth. The entire enemy fleet simply disintegrates in an instant, melting away completely like snow under a blazing, hot summer sun. The absolute law of cause and effect completely erases them. Even though Earth's physical size did not change, its power level has skyrocketed to an unbelievable degree. And trust me, from this day on, our beautiful blue planet is officially off limits to the universe. 3 months after the enemy retreat, humanity begins to bloom again. Despite the massive conflict, the world quickly recovers, thanks to Yi Xuan's unbelievable power. Cities did not just return to normal, they now look incredibly, mind-blowingly futuristic. Rooftop gardens on skyscrapers have transformed into stunning glass palaces that float majestically high up among the clouds. At the grand wedding, Qian Yunshu wears a gorgeous bridal gown, custom-made by Yi Xuan himself using legendary materials, like deep-sea pearls and shards of the abyss core. Its value is beyond measure, and she looks absolutely breathtaking. She walks down the aisle arm in arm with her father, stepping gracefully toward the man waiting for her at the end of the red carpet. Despite being humanity's ultimate guardian, Yi Xuan smiles shyly, like a boy hopelessly in love, as he watches her approach. His eyes are locked entirely on his beautiful bride. Behind her, a tiny flower girl happily walks along, helping to hold up the long veil with a giant grin. The respected elder officiating the ceremony is deeply moved. Mr. Xuan, Do you take Miss Qian to be your lawfully wedded wife? To love her in wealth and in poverty. Hearing the word poverty, all the guests chuckle softly. After all, literally the entire world already knows that his bank account is at zero because he literally bought the whole planet. I do, he says, looking deeply into her eyes. With a voice full of warmth, the priest turns. Miss Qian Yunshu, do you take Mr. Shi Xuan to be your husband? Yes, I do. She eagerly blurted out before he could even finish, triggering joyful laughter among the crowd. Under a rain of falling flower petals and applause, they embrace tightly and share a tender, passionate kiss. Right then, the long-awaited system chime echoes in his mind. Congratulations, valued user. You have successfully completed all main quests. The tycoon system has successfully concluded and will now begin its final permanent disconnection. You will retain your special abilities as a parting gift. Farewell, and may your life be filled with absolute happiness. He freezes in shock hearing this. Disconnecting. And just like that, his system journey ends, leaving you and me with this truly legendary love story. Come along with me to see how a humble delivery guy who became the absolute king of this entire world says goodbye today, leaving us with beautiful nostalgia. But relief comes quickly as he feels Chen Yunshu in his warm embrace, hears the sweet laughter of Tang Tang, and watches the sincere blessings of all their guests. He does not need his cheat system anymore, because right now, he already holds the most valuable treasure on earth. Seeing him lost in his thoughts, Chen Yunshu tenderly asks if something is wrong. Yi Xuan snaps out of his trance instantly and turns to face her, looking at the woman he loves madly. He flashes his brightest smile and jokes that his wife just confiscated every single bit of his secret savings. Chen Yunshu chuckles mischievously and leans in close, her warm breath brushing against his ear as she softly whispers that it is perfectly fine. Now pay attention to this sweet moment. She tells him he is completely hers now, and she even loaded $1 trillion onto that credit card. The password is his birthday. She hands him the card secretly, and he looks at it before turning his gaze to his beautiful wife. Who? Dot is blushing furiously. He realizes that being absolutely spoiled by his wife is the best feeling ever. So he suddenly proposes they go on their honeymoon. Where should they go? Our main character looks up at the massive starry sky and mentions that sunsets on Mars must be pretty amazing to see. Since they already practically own Earth, why not conquer Mars too? She giggles, loving how ridiculously over the top her husband can be with his wealth. Under the warm sunshine and a gentle breeze, he holds her tight, with the entire world standing as a witness to their unbreakable, ultimate love story. You and I just witnessed an incredible journey. Together, they walk into their happy ending, as the legend of the wealthiest man shines bright under the stars, for all eternity.